Warning, this podcast was produced by two men who still think that swearing is both big and clever. As a result, it contains quite a lot of it. Therefore, this podcast is not suitable for children, unless they're really fucking cool children. Yes, people. Dave Fensom here with another episode of Pop, Collaborate and Listen. As always, in the studio with me, Mr. Krista Greer.
I love you call this a studio. My spare room.
Look, man, it's the studio.
The studio. Sorry to the listeners. Yes, don't think that this is some shonky production.
Putting the stud in studio. It's Krista Greer.
Putting this as a studio in studio. LD, man.
I'm putting the Dio in studio.
Lovely. Sweet.
You're joining us for if you just listened to our little bonus episode. We recorded that a few minutes ago. Mm-hmm. We are now recording the episode on REM's Monster. Now,
right,
I'm just gonna fill you in on this, guys. What has happened is we have a limited period of time to record this podcast in because we need to be at a pub quiz, which we also need to win.
We very much.
So we're going to try and record this in that time frame if we can. Sure. There is a possibility that what's going to happen is the first half of this podcast is going to be recorded with us sounding normal, and the second half of the pub quiz is going to be recorded after the pub quiz when Chris is going to be pissed.
Yeah. So exactly. If you come in like track 7 and I'm slurring suddenly, I haven't had a stroke.
Yeah.
I just went out and got drunk and came back.
So we're going to keep the ballyhoo to a minimum up front.
Gosh,
I know. This is we're doing REM's Monster this week. This is the third album by REM that we have covered. If you haven't listened to the previous two episodes on Automatic for the People and on Out of Time, then please go back and listen to those. Brief recap. We both really love those records.
We fucking love those. Yeah, those
really
we were huge fans of those. And, okay, so there you go. Look, we're now looking in 1994. We're looking at October 94 when Monster got released.
Yeah.
The Out of Time was 1991.
Yeah.
Automatic was 1983.
Yeah.
And those two were kind of my first REM proper albums. I knew singles from them before, but those are the first albums I was into, and I fucking loved them. Instantly fell in love with them.
And I tell you what, I'm going to tell you something that, given my love of those previous albums, is going to be weird.
Yeah,
I've never listened to this record.
Not at all. No. Right. Because I wasn't sure if I had. I've never owned it. I knew that. And I thought, I must have listened to this. But then I was like, I don't know if I properly did. But as I was going through, there wasn't really much. There were some bits that weren't singles that I did recognise. So I was like, I must have heard this. But I wasn't a big... I didn't do it over and over and over at the time.
No, I just kind of moved on. They weren't. There was so much stuff that was new and exciting, and I was looking in that direction.
Yeah.
It was no deliberate slight to them. And I mean, I remember like everyone going to see them at Milton Keynes Bar.
Right. Sure. Yeah. This was the time they were still went back out on tour. But they were coming off the back of those two albums, right? And those sold 18 million copies each worldwide.
Yeah.
They were just, world destroyers, those albums. This one has done about 9 million so far, so about half as much. But it was a huge weight of expectation for it because of what they'd just done. And REM, as we kind of know, and Michael Stipe especially, they are not the sort of people that want fame. They don't relish being the biggest band in the world. They're not Bono and U2.
No.
They kind of came at this album with an eye on going, well, we want to deliberately do something different. We don't want to just provide you with Automatic for the People Volume 2.
Yeah. So
which Warner's would have very much liked.
Yeah, they went a little bit contrarian. I mean, the nature in which they went contrarian is, I mean, you could say they pivoted into a very popular sound.
Sure. Well, we are, in the era of big guitar bands and rock stuff going on, the grunge era. We're starting to see some of the kind of the punk stuff, what was it, Orange County?
Yeah,
Orange County punk stuff coming through from the States. The big guitar sound is in. We're kind of in the nascent Britpop. We've had Blur, Oasis and Suede in the UK, but we are in that big chunky riffs.
Yeah, and the figurehead of that American alternative genre has died this year.
Indeed, so yeah.
And obviously he was a very good friend of Michael Stipe's.
Indeed. And so, yeah, that kind of scene is suffering through that, and it has made a massive impact on a lot of people.
Yeah. Should we start by having a look at the album cover here?
Album cover, I've got a copy of the CD there.
Yeah, so we got
which I got from a charity shop.
We got a kind of an out-of-focus bear on an orange background.
Yeah. I heard, or read rather, that it was something like it was a balloon that Michael Stipe had seen, something, and he kind of liked the image, and he went to one of his designer friends and said, something like this. Yeah. And the balloon wasn't originally orange, so the designer did a design, and he took a load of photos, some of them that were deliberately out of focus, and Michael Stipe kind of drifted towards them, and so that's what it is. I think it's a very, very strange decision for an album cover.
I don't mind it as an album cover. I think it's an interesting album cover.
Right.
I think I probably, I like the other two album covers. I think it's a kind of a typically like opaquely arty REM album cover.
It definitely is that. It makes you ask questions and go, what? Yeah. But maybe it's because this wasn't as big a selling album as the other two. I don't think it's as iconic as those two. Maybe it's that.
Maybe that. It's difficult to know retrospectively.
It is indeed.
All right, so not a 10 out of 10. But I think it's all right.
No, absolutely. Like you say, they did go out on tour after this one in 1995. It was the first tour they'd done since 1989, and therefore the first one since they became megastar REM. Yeah. But that was another reason they didn't want to write another album of slow songs, just because they knew they were going to go out on tour, and they wanted something to play to a crowd that would be more interesting than just Everybody Hurts times 13.
Exactly.
So that's what they did. Shall we move on to actually listening?
Yeah, first track is the first single as well.
It was.
This is What's the Frequency, Kenneth. So yeah, I mean, listen to the guitar effects. We are definitely in 90s alt-rock territory, aren't we?
Sure. Yeah, it's much brasher than the previous albums immediately. This came out just before the release. It was the first album. Got to number 9 because there was a lot of expectation. Yeah. So no matter what it sounded like, everyone went out and bought this single. Yeah. I went out and bought it first day of release because new REM single.
Yeah.
And I thought, maybe I'm going to have to play this in clubs as well. But I went out and I got it. But it really sideswiped a lot of people, I think.
I think this single is probably the reason I never got the album.
Right, sure.
Because, there's good stuff about this song. With anything Michael Stipe does, it's always going to be lyrically interesting.
There's a lot going on in the lyrics.
Yeah. I mean, in theory, I never really realised until I started realising this is about the identity of Generation X, our generation.
So, yeah.
Withdrawal and disgust is not the same as apathy.
It's a good line.
It's a great line.
That is a good one. Absolutely. That works in a lot of ways.
But for me, this is a perfunctory pop punk song, somewhat hamstrung by the quirkiness of its own title and its lyrics.
Oh, right, I see, yeah.
I find it a little bit overly quirky.
It's kind of, look at us, we're weird. That sort of, right, I see, okay.
I
see.
And I think the song's fine. It's got some nice little bits in it here and there, but I find it a little bit alienating.
Sure. And I think that was the experience of a lot of people. And a lot of REM fans, or people who would call themselves fans at that point, they probably weren't there from Murmur days, but people who had been into REM for 4 or 5 years thought the exact same. It was like, this is not what I wanted.
Yeah.
And even if you weren't going specifically, I want Everybody Hurts, or I want Losing My Religion, you probably weren't thinking, I want kind of a more guitar-based, tremolo-heavy, really that chicka wicka waka waka thing, weird piece of
See, I don't even think that's my option. I just think it's... Because I like all of those things, and I just don't think this is a fantastic example of it.
I see, okay.
That's more my issue.
Right, I see.
Rather than... and there is a way of... I would like this REM to do this, but... I'm also happy. I'm very happy for bands to go off on a fucking weird tangent.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And I just don't think this is a great song.
I see. Right.
It's all right. I don't hate it.
Yeah.
But it's not great.
It didn't spark your interest. Even on this listen, you didn't go, "Oh, I missed this the first time, but now I get it," or nothing like that. No. You'll see as this journey goes on. That's not that's very specific for this. For this song, right? Because I liked this at the time. I did enjoy it. I thought it was a good tune. It wasn't what I was expecting or what I wanted, but I did enjoy it. I think it took a few plays for me to go, oh, I kind of get this a bit more.
Yeah.
But going back to it now, because I would never put this on purpose. Yeah. It's not one of the REM ones. I'll be like, yeah, fuck it, I want to hear this. But I really enjoy this now. I do very much like this. I like some of the lyrics, the Gen X thing, the ones I can kind of understand, which isn't all of them, because that's Michael Stipe. But yeah, you said the irony was the shackles of youth, and that the apathy one. The references to Slacker, Richard Linklater, so it's all tied into stuff like that. Is that Gen X thing? A few listens for this song planted it a bit more in my head, and I really got back into it. And while it's not the style of REM that I would immediately go back to, I started to forgive them a lot more on listens this time. I was like, oh no, I get it now. This is good fun. And it sounds like they're having fun to me as well.
Sure.
And I like that bit about it.
And this isn't by any means what I've got to say about the whole record, but that one, it's fine.
Do you remember the video for this at all?
I kind of vaguely remember it. Is it kind of black and white, lots of fast cuts?
It's not all black and white. There's some colours, but some fast cuts. And a lot of it is that you see the band, but only from the neck down.
Right.
But then you do see them, and it was the first time that we'd seen Michael Stipe with a shaved head.
Okay.
And that, to me, is so strange to think now, because all I can think of Michael Stipe is Michael Stipe with a shaved head.
Yeah.
I find it more difficult to picture him with any hair at all.
Yeah.
But... yeah, he previously had in the previous.
We had a mohawk, Michael Stripe.
Lovely stuff.
Little Gremlins joke for you there.
That was good. I like that.
Was it?
No, awful, but no, I'm trying to be nice.
All right. Cool.
This is the only song from this album that appears on either their 2003 or 2011 best-ofs.
Oh, is it really?
And the 2011 was a double CD.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and it's the only song from this album that appears on that.
That is interesting.
Indeed. I don't know...
And it's not the best song on this album?
No, it's not. But I wonder if that's just a hangover from the record companies who obviously would put the best-ofs together going, oh, yeah, no one really bought much after this. We'll just put that one on. It's fine.
Fair enough.
We'll see. But yeah, no, okay. I do think that's good. I think that's a really nice little song. Didn't convince you this time?
No, this one, it didn't convince me. There's some nice bits in it. There's little bits in it that I like. I just find it a bit heavy-handed, and it's a bit like kind of alt-rock by numbers, and I think there's better examples. Certainly better examples on this record.
Right, okay. So that was track number 1. What's the frequency, Kenneth?
And this is number 2. This is Crush with Eyeliner. And that is a fucking 90s guitar sound, if you've ever heard one.
I mean, I think it's a mistake to put it straight after this in the running terms of the album, because you go, oh, does it all sound like that guitar then?
Yeah.
This was a single as well.
There's a bit of Lou Reed about this, isn't there?
I like that bit of looseness.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And, on paper, I think I should really like this one. But I don't.
Oh, really? No, you're not into this
not
either?
Not really. I find that pulsating tremolo effect, just a bit overwhelming and annoying.
I think this is a one-trick pony, this song.
Yeah, and I find it a little bit... I find this close to self-parody.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that takes away from the deftness of a lot of his lyrics. And I don't love the vocal delivery on this one. My issue is the best REM opens up my mind and emotions.
Sure, lovely.
And I find this oddly alienating, even more so than the first one.
I see you. Right, okay.
And I know a lot of people love this song.
mean, I'd say, yeah, people do enjoy it. It was a single, so for some reason, it was the third single. Only got to number 23 in February 95. And so it was chosen because it was, I guess they thought it was one of the catchier ones. Something about it would appeal to whatever, radio friendly.
Yeah.
In terms of lyrics, it is... Some people thought it was about Courtney Love. She was the crush with eyeliner in question. But Stipe has refuted that. Even Courtney Love said, "Oh, it's about me," but Stipe has refuted that. He said it's just it's a kind of, an amorphous somebody. And he wrote this to try and sound like the New York Dolls, that kind of sleazy 70s New York thing. Bits of glam in there, like you say, the Lou Reed, definitely. Thurston Moore from Sonic Youth on backing vocals. But I do think that it's lacking something that makes me go, oh, right, yeah, that's why you've done that. This sounds like a bit of a lazy, this is okay, just fucking put this track down.
It just drops in this low register, and it all just kind of lives there, and it's like... this song makes me feel nothing.
Right.
And that's my criticism of it.
It's okay, but, I mean, are you saying to me, I don't mind this at all. I think this is all right. I think it's fine. Or are you more of a negative?
I'm between the two.
Yeah.
This doesn't actively annoy me.
Right.
But it does nothing for me.
Yeah.
In a way that I find slightly antagonistic.
I see, right. When I've put that repeated listens improved it to me, but not enough to make me think it's actually very good.
And I tell you what, and what rings true on all of this is I will say that this is an album that very much requires repeated listens, and the more you listen to it, the more it opens up.
Very much so.
So, and I am prepared to say that perhaps the first and second tracks on this would open up more to me if I gave them more time.
Okay,
but on where we are, I've got to be honest. That's where I'm at.
That's fine, because I think they deliberately did make an album that is a bit more. It is not as in your face. Here's a brilliant tune as they've done the past couple of ones. They did something a bit more sleazy, lo-fi, low key. And sometimes it works. I don't think this song particularly does. I don't know. No. I don't know why this was really a single either.
I do not. This just is album track all over to me. Nothing about this says single to me.
No. There is a video for this, obviously, because it was single, directed by Spike Jonze.
Yeah.
Who was, one of the great directors of the 90s.
Yeah, that's your 90s alt.
Oh, yeah, exactly. You're kind of your big three. Him, Gondry, and Chris Cunningham.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. So you're absolute heroes of videos.
Yeah.
Spike Jonze is one of them. And the video for this is really quite dull.
Oh, wow.
It is...
I don't recall it at all.
It is some Japanese kids miming along to the song as if they are the band playing this.
Right.
And so it's as if they are making the music video, but it's just them in some rooms or outside playing the songs. It's not interesting. It's not clever or anything like that. It's not like a Spike. You go, fucking hell, Spike, you've done it again.
Yeah, DJ Crush with eyeliner.
DJ Crush with eyeliner. Thanks for that. Lovely.
Because he's Japanese, you see.
He is.
That's the joke.
That works for me.
Right, let's you got anything else on this?
I don't think so. I mean, I like some of the lyrics where Stipe is trying. He has this crush with eyeliner. He's trying to work out how you can describe this person, and it's a she, but there are definitely elements that would make me think maybe it's not a she, but maybe it's a man in makeup. Maybe that's the glam New York Dolls thing they're going. Maybe it's about his heroes from that era. So I think it's interesting in that way, but there's not much of a tune to it.
Well, that's exactly the problem, isn't it? Anyway, right, let's do track 3. This one's called King of Comedy.
Right, track number 3.
Make your money with a suit and a tie.
Do you know what this was originally titled?
I do, but I've forgotten because I read it.
Called Yes, I Am Fucking With You.
That's it, yeah.
Somehow got made into King of Comedy for the album, though.
Well, I mean, King of Comedy, obviously, it's it's kind of about celebrity, as is the the Scorsese De Niro movie.
Indeed, yes.
It's kind of in this kind of mid-tempo, muddy monotone again, isn't it?
Sure. Well, it sounds like he's going through a megaphone into a mic sort of thing.
Yeah, well, he's doing this kind of low-key spoken thing, and he's got the distortion on the voice. Yeah, I mean, the first part of this song doesn't enormously work for me. Then there's...
No. It's a very straightforward sort of just boom,
Yeah.
and guitar riff. It's. I find it a little bit pedestrian.
Yeah.
That bit of the song.
Yeah. And then there's a little kind of fast strummed guitar part that comes in that I like.
I see.
quite a
Okay, so there's a bit.
Yeah.
Right.
And I like that little vocal that's coming in there. It starts the BV starts to lift it out a little bit.
Sure. Yeah. But I find this. My kind of takeaway was that, well, I'm not going to be humming this in an hour. I'm not taking that away.
No, I think there's elements in here that I like. I'd say it's this deconstruction of fame, hence King of Comedy.
Yeah.
And there are bits of the song where I'm like, okay, there's elements of stuff that's starting to work, but it just kind of misses the mark for me. It doesn't connect. Again, I'm looking for this emotional connection to a song.
Right.
I let that.
That
That guitar's great. That starts to lift the song out.
That reminds me of one of the Sinead O'Connor songs off that first album that we did.
Yes, you're very right.
I can't think what it's called, but it reminds me of that.
I can't remember either.
Yeah.
Yes,
but
yes.
it does, doesn't it? Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
very
okay.
reminiscent
Nice.
of that. But yeah, with REM, what I'm looking for Michael Stipe, a fucking one of the best wordsmiths of the 90s. I'm looking for his words to get his hooks underneath my skin, and there are still good lyrics in all of these songs, right?
Sure. Oh, I mean, this one, it's like, I'm not your magazine, I'm not your television, I'm not your movie screen, I'm not commodity.
Yeah.
So that's the fame thing.
But again, it's just like but it has to marry up with the music and get its claws under my skin emotionally.
Sure.
And it's none of these first three songs have done that.
I see. Right.
And that
Right.
is a problem for me with an REM record.
It's a shame. If you think of that Automatic for the People, opens with Drive.
Yeah.
Right. Second song is Try Not to Breathe.
Yeah.
You're instantly kind of in his clutches
100%,
by those points.
100%. But this is a marathon, not a sprint. With 3 hours, where are you?
I mean, I think this is a little bit dull.
Yeah.
It doesn't do very much, and then it's finished. I think there are some okay bits that he says, but I read an interview about the lyrics, right? And Stipe said that he was trying new ideas and methods of writing for this album because he didn't want to just be in the same rut as he was doing. He's trying to get him out of his own head and try and do things differently. And he says he thought some of it worked really well on this album, but he does count this one as one of the ones that he wishes he could have reworked or discarded.
Sure.
So I think looking back on it, he's like, yeah, okay, I tried something that didn't really hit.
And I don't disagree with that.
Right, and fucking fair play for doing it. But for me, that's actually probably my least favourite of the first three because I think that just that really straightforward back that dun 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 dun, dun doesn't do anything.
I kind of know what you mean. In a way, I don't disagree with you, although there is more in that song in the individual elements that I like than in the second song. But a song,
it's got to be greater in the sum of its parts.
Exactly.
Yeah, sure.
So, right, let's do track number 4.
Okay, yep.
I Don't Sleep, I Dream.
And whenever I said before that I wasn't sure if I'd heard this whole album, this wasn't a single, and I remember this very well. So I must have heard this.
See, I don't remember this one, but immediately, like, this one's very pretty in its guitar work, I think.
Absolutely. Yeah.
There's just there's an overall kind of haunting air that kind of it creates. It's creating an atmosphere.
I think because it's called I Don't Sleep, I Dream.
Yeah.
I think it sounds woozy and half asleep and in between states. I think that's nice.
Exactly. It's about someone that's obviously suffering an overabundance of dreams, self-critical dreams.
Yeah.
But but that I Don't Sleep, I Dream. I really like that vocal there.
I do like that quite. I'll settle for a cup of coffee, but you know what I really need.
Yeah.
I like that. I think this is a very pretty song.
Yeah. This is it's weird because in terms of scale, this one feels like it should be incidental, but it's the first one that I've started to connect with.
Right. See. Okay. There's something about this one.
This one, I'm like, okay. Now I'm not going to say to you, oh, this is the best fucking song in the world, but I'm starting to connect with this. I'm like, okay, this is more what I was looking for and expecting.
Okay. Well, yeah, I would agree. If someone had said to me, this is, and I hadn't heard the first 3 songs, someone said, this is off the REM album after Automatic, I'd be like, oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see where they're going.
And maybe it is because it is more in...
It's on that path.
That thing.
Sure.
And, but, yeah, I like this one.
Yeah, no, I think this is nice. And the fact that 30 years after I did listen to this, however many times I did, probably wasn't loads, but the chorus for this is still in my head.
Yeah.
There is something about this. I was like, oh yeah, I remember this well.
Yeah.
And maybe it's the actual words, because I remembered the cup of coffee line. But I think it is more just the tune to this. Like, I do know
but
this.
That guitar, it's got that kind of persistence, and it builds and it builds, and then it just that little. Yeah.
And it's the first time in this album that I can hear the piano in there as well, that they've added that in.
Yeah.
And I know that they deliberately didn't use mandolins and lutes and pianos that they'd done in the other couple of albums. They deliberately didn't. But they've got an element of that in here, and I think it's lovely. I think it's really, really nice.
really, really like this one.
I mean, you're talking about the lyrics. I can't decide what he's actually talking about. This is oblique to me.
Yeah.
I tried to decipher really what it's about, and I'm not sure.
Well, I mean,
I like the sound of it. But
I just got, this is a guy that's experiencing a lot of stuff going on that is to his personal detriment. He's dreaming, and his dreams, he's beating himself up in his dreams.
Right.
And therefore he's this is not welcome. He doesn't sleep, he dreams.
Yeah. So
he doesn't get respite from that. That's
it's like constant. He needs downtime. Fine. No. Okay. So that's the first 4 songs.
Yeah. So I'm kind of one of 4.
You're one of 4, right? I would go 2 because I think that What's the Frequency is really good.
Okay.
I really enjoyed that going back to it. So I'm half and half, but by God, I would have wanted to have more than half and half on an REM.
For sure. Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Me too. Right, so let's do the albums.
Yes, indeed. This got to number 1 for 2 weeks, this album.
Okay.
On October the 2nd, 1994. But essentially for 3 weeks after it was number 1, Bon Jovi's Crossroads got to number 1, their greatest hits. And so I have looked at the 5 weeks in that time period. The top 10 I'm going to look at is as follows. Number 10 is Massive Attack Protection.
What a tune.
Album. So it's the album.
Oh, sorry.
The album. So this was obviously the follow-up to Blue Lines.
Yeah.
We're talking about albums with fucking huge expectations.
Yeah, you can't really...
My God.
Yeah.
And I think some people were slightly disappointed because it wasn't exactly what Blue Lines was.
Yeah.
It was a different type of Massive Attack. But once you got your head around some of those songs,
I feel like Protection is almost like the forgotten Massive Attack album now.
Because Mezzanine's just so good.
Yeah, exactly. Although that wasn't... we've discussed this before, but like when Mezzanine came out, people were talking about it as if it wasn't as good as Protection.
No, you're absolutely right.
And its time has proved everyone badly
wrong.
Oh,
absolutely. Fucking hell. So, that's number 10.
Yeah.
Number 9 is Oasis, Definitely Maybe. We've done that. Mm-hmm. Number 8 is Eric Clapton's From the Cradle. We didn't do that.
3.
Number 7 is Blur's Parklife. Number
we
6,
did do that.
Indeed, is Luther Vandross. His best of. Do you know what it's called, his best of? It's not just called Best of Luther Vandross.
Is it called Not Dross?
No, it's just called Songs.
Cool.
Luther Vandross, Songs.
Why not?
Have you got the album, mate? What one?
Songs.
Oh, yeah, of course.
He's got another greatest hit. It's just called Me Wanking. It's just him wanking.
Is that greatest hit?
Yeah, it's just so you don't get the two confused.
Oh, well, that is true.
I want the Luther Vandross greatest hits, please. Which one? Songs, please.
Songs, yeah.
You sure? Not him wanking? Oh, actually, I didn't know that was available. I will have that, yeah.
Fine. Buy one, get one free.
I'll take them both.
Yeah. Number 5 is Three Tenors in Concert, 1994.
They should have called that 30 quid.
Three Tenors. Lovely. Yeah. Thanks. Number 4 is Cyndi Lauper's 12 Deadly Sins.
Yeah.
Number 3, and what a shame this never got number 1. Actually, it must be a best of. It's Cliff Richard, The Hit List.
The Hit List.
The Hit List.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Hit List, and it's just the address of a load of... 8-year-olds in Thailand.
Oh, it's people who know the password to his computer. He has to get rid.
Exactly.
And then number 2 is the Cranberries with No Need to Argue, which, as we have pointed out, never got to number 1. So
Thank
we
God.
don't have to do that. Other albums. So we got like 4 weeks to look at here. These Animal Men released Come On, Join the High Society. Only got to number 62, which is what I would expect.
Why are we talking about these?
Well, even 30 years later. Number 73, Corduroy with Out of Here. We talked about the single mini on our previous episode. Corduroy, they're one of the bands, right, that I think have probably made quite a nice living out of being not a very well-known band, but very well-known in their niche.
Sure.
You know, they're not anywhere as big as Jamiroquai.
No.
But if you go and see Jamiroquai and Corduroy were playing, I bet you'd go and see Corduroy.
I mean, that'd be the thing that made you buy your ticket, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. You've seen who's supporting?
Double header. Yeah.
Wow.
And Slayer released Divine Intervention, got to number 15.
Yeah.
Couldn't tell you what songs are on Divine Intervention.
I mean, Divine Intervention is not an album that's particularly well regarded.
Is it not?
These days, I don't think.
Right.
It's not. It's
they didn't try and go grunge or anything, did they? It's not one of those ones.
No. I mean, they've got a kind of a vaguely new metal album, haven't they?
Oh, is that God
Hates Me?
God Hates Us All.
God Hates Us All.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But yeah, it was still a thrash. But the problem is, you know, if you're Slayer and you've released, South of Heaven, you've released Rain in Blood, and you've released what's it called?
The album.
Yeah.
Oh
God. My brain's gone absolutely hinky. But whatever. I can't be bothered to Google it. But yeah, if you've released the first 3 Slayer records, you've basically created possibly the best thrash album. I mean, Metallica fans will argue with you, but you've created some of the best fucking thrash music that will ever exist.
Right,
you're forever.
You're setting your bar very high. Yeah. So if you come back with something that's okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, fucked. I get you. Okay. Veruca Salt released American Thighs, which I enjoy. It's very much, this is a Breeders record, but not the Breeders.
Yeah,
it's one of those
I
ones.
don't remember that album. I remember the singles.
Of course. No, it is good. Dream Theater released Awake, got number 65. Not a clue.
I can't remember which one that is.
Dream Theater.
I don't mind a bit of Dream Theater
Oh,
live.
I know
It's a bit wanky and a bit silly, but they do play.
Oh, but whenever they do decide to do a punchy song, they can absolute smack you on the head.
I mean, they're one of those bands where if you don't mind a bit of a muso wank, they're a great band to watch live.
Yeah. Suede released Dogman Star, which got to number 3. Like we said in the last one, it's the follow-up to their first album.
I'm surprised that wasn't a number 1.
Me too.
Yeah,
me too. I think if you'd asked me, was it, I would have said yes.
I would have presumed it was. Yeah.
But one of those ones that I wasn't interested in, because by the time the first album had done its cycle, and other indie Britpop bands were coming into the fray, I was like, okay, fine, this new Suede album better be fucking shit hot to catch my attention, because there's a lot of other stuff now I want to hear. And when they came back with the first single, which was a bit wishy-washy and sort of wankery around it, I was like, okay, well, in that case, I think I'm done with Suede by this point.
Fair enough.
And again, if they had come back with second single off this album or third single off this album, which was just blinding, I'd have reappraised myself.
But this was one that really made their fans dig in.
It was,
and cemented them as this. Anyway,
this kind of student bed sit. Oh, look at me, aren't I interesting? Type of person was into it. But then, speaking of bed sits, Queensryche released Promised Land, and that's where Queensryche even. I mean, they got to number 13, so there's a fan base there.
I do. I mean, people Operation Mindcrime is so many people's favourite album.
Really,
fucking love that shit, man.
Wow.
It was always a bit too overblown
Seems
for me.
Mad to me. Yeah.
But again, they're one of those bands that really did the thing.
Right. Well, and are still doing it. Are they still playing? Aren't they?
Well, there's different versions.
Right.
There's different versions of them. There was a big breakup between 2 of the main members. Who owns the name? I'm not sure what the current state of that is. It was very acrimonious. There were 2 bands playing those songs under and arguing about who owned the name and stuff like that.
Oh, crikey.
Yeah, there was a whole bunch of shit that went on. I can't remember the details of it. I was never...
Big fucking denim fights.
Yeah, I was never interested enough from that point of view.
No, not at all.
Right, Seasons in the Abyss is the name of the Slayer album. I couldn't remember.
That's the one.
There you go.
Yes, indeed. Right, Deus released Worst Case Scenario, got to number 90. 90 is...
That was the one that had the big single. Like,
it's Suds and Soda and the other one. Very good album. A little bit too up its own arse overall for me, but highlights are great on that one.
Yeah, I remember liking the single, checking out the album and going,
no, indeed. Okay. Yeah, it's one of those ones where I don't think they had the staying power to do 12 tracks or whatever it is of sub their best. And that's what I kind of thought it was. Jamiroquai did release Return of the Space Cowboy, and it got to number 2, so we almost had to do that.
It was number 2.
Hey, no, so that's that one. E17 released Steam. It got to number 4.
Yeah.
So we didn't have to do that
Flow
either.
like a rhythm, like a stream. Fear no evil, fear no man. Open up your mind and the beats go bang.
God, just without prompting, you know those.
I do, yeah.
That's incredible. Coolio released It Takes a Thief, got to number 67.
Good record.
Is it? I never heard it.
It's a good record, man.
Fucking really hated Gangsta's Paradise.
Actually, It Takes a Thief. No, that was the one with Gangsta's Paradise on it. I'm thinking of.
Well, I'm assuming it. I think Gangsta's Paradise.
No, hang on.
With 95.
No.
So
It Takes a Thief's the one with Fantastic Voyage on it, and
yeah, we've seen Fantastic Voyage come out.
Yeah.
So is it that one?
This is a good record, man.
Oh, I see. Right. Okay. I mean, I didn't know it at the time, and the first I ever heard of Coolio was Gangsta's Paradise.
No, do you know what, man?
So
That's
I never
like
went back.
There's a couple of fucking. I mean, like Mama, I'm in Love with the Gangsters on that record, which is a fucking great track.
Yeah, I do know that one.
Fantastic Voyage is a really, really good track, and I remember. I mean, there's a 411 skate video.
Right,
someone was skating to like I Remember by Coolio. And it's such a good track, man. I fucking love that track. Yeah, and some really good remixes of it knock around.
Oh, I see. Okay, right. Well,
honestly, Coolio, that record, Gangsta's Paradise was its own thing, and after that, he was just like a media figure.
Yes,
that was a fucking good, genuinely good hip hop album. Hang on, what was Coolio? He was in a crew before, wasn't he, Coolio?
Oh, he was.
No, he was in WC and Mad Circle.
That's the word. Yes. Yeah, you've talked about them before. Actually, I think on one of our end of year wrap ups you might have mentioned.
I mean, I think I might have put like one 92. Of that records in my hip hop.
Yeah, 92 or 93.
Yeah, WC and Mag Circle were great, man. They were doing. If you listen to WC and Mag Circle and you listen to what was going on the West Coast at that time, you go, maybe Dre wasn't quite the innovator because they were doing. Like, and that's no fucking shade on Dre, man. But WC and Mag Circle were doing some great fucking laid back, that kind of G-funk sound coming through
at the same time, at least.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Megadeth released Euthanasia, got to number 6.
Yeah, I was done with by Megadeth by this point.
Oh, were you?
Very much so.
Oh, right, okay.
It was a very short shelf life for me, Megadeth.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know what songs are on Euthanasia itself because I wasn't into that at the time.
I think that album died on its arse, as I recall.
Oh no, really? Well, I don't number 6 in the chart, so
yeah, but I don't think it did well long term,
and not well regarded again.
No, I mean, yeah. Megadeth fans,
well, okay, sure,
regard everything they fucking do highly.
Dodgy released Homegrown, got to number 43. Got higher in 1995 after a few singles, but that's their kind of breakthrough album, number 43. Shampoo released We Are Shampoo, got to number 45, which is fucking dreadful.
We're in trouble.
Such a hyped band.
Yeah, I mean,
they had such hype.
But that song did fucking well, though, didn't it?
The single did. Yeah. I mean, that one did, and then I think they had a follow-up which did fuck all.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they would never... It was obvious. It was so put together.
Oh, totally. And the weird thing is, it was kind of NME and Melody Maker who were titling them. It wasn't Smash Hits or whoever.
Yeah. They just did that from time to time. They got behind some fucking right old shit, and everyone saw through it.
Yeah, indeed. Danzig released Danzig 4, a very... interestingly titled album.
Is that the one with Mother on it?
Couldn't tell you, mate.
Mother!
If it's not, then I don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Smashing Pumpkins released Pisces Iscariot, which is their B-sides album, and it's fucking wonderful, that is.
I've heard that quite a bit.
Good.
My friend Jamie had that on a lot. I don't really remember an awful lot of it, to be honest with you, but I suspect it's one of those albums that if you put it on, I'd be like, oh, yeah.
Oh, you'd know some of them.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, you'd absolutely know some of them. It doesn't have Drown on it, for example, though. That was on the singles soundtrack, and I think maybe they had the rights to it for a while. But it's got the B-sides of I Am One and Siva and those ones, that sort of era stuff. And those B-sides are just incredible. You know, back when Billy Corgan was just pumping out brilliant tunes.
He really was, though, wasn't he?
Genuinely was. So, yeah, I really like that. I've got that. I love it.
And now I feel like one could knock on his door and he'd just tell it to fuck off.
Honestly, yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, I just accidentally played Danzig on my phone.
I see. I wonder what that was.
Yeah.
Korn released Korn.
And what a
1994.
game. And look, when this record came out, did I get this album 94, maybe the year after?
I was going to say released in 94. I don't think it made much of an impact over this way for a year or so.
No. I wasn't particularly interested in metal for a while, right? At all. And when this came out, I was like, oh, I don't like this.
Okay.
And then I heard Blind in clubs a few times, and I just went, oh, I really like this. Yeah. I really like this. And I got that album, and I really liked that first album. And then I think they played here once, and I missed them.
Okay, yeah.
And then they came back with a second album, and I went to see them, and I was really into it, really into that first album. And I was like, and I had some other friends that were into them, and I went to see it 3 times on that tour.
Wow.
There were a couple of reasons. Like, one, I had a girlfriend living in Manchester at the time.
Gotcha.
Right? So it made sense for me to be there. I had friends going in London, so I went to that. And I went to, I can't remember what the other one was, Rock City, maybe?
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
And there were people, there was a reason to be at all of them, yeah. And I didn't think they were very good. So first time I saw them live, I went, they're not great live. And I didn't enjoy it particularly. But the rest of the lineup, it was Incubus opening.
Damn.
On
the Science Tour?
No, all they had out was Enjoy Incubus.
Oh, right, okay.
In fact, that might not even have been out. Yeah, Fungus Among Us. Yeah. And The Urge.
Oh, God, okay.
And I fucking...
You love The Urge.
I love The Urge, man. Those 2 Urge records are fucking great. The first, Receiving the Gift for Flavour, the first Urge record, I don't know. I've got a soft spot for it. Anyway. Yeah. Let's put it that way. Okay, I think it's a really good record. I haven't heard it for a while, actually, so maybe I should reserve judgment on that. But I loved the shit out of that Urge album at the time.
But when you're saying that you saw Korn 3 times on that tour, and that's the second album tour, and did you not think they were very good on any of the shows? Nah, really?
I just thought they sucked as a live band.
Oh, shit. Because I've never seen them live.
I don't think they were a great live band.
No, it's a shame, because I would have assumed... Especially in 94, young, hungry band going out there with the first album. I thought that those shows must have been incredible.
I didn't think they were.
Okay.
It's
a shame.
Yeah.
That is a shame.
But for that first record, I really like that first Korn record.
Well,
some of it hasn't aged well, actually.
Yeah, I mean, some of it, I guess.
Some of it's a bit cringeworthy now,
Sure.
I think.
Yes. But in terms of just impact and... changing direction from where everything else was going.
Yeah.
It was a big one for that.
100%.
Yeah. Sick of It All, Scratch the Surface.
What a record.
I know you're a big fan of that one.
What a record that is. I mean, Scratch the Surface. I mean, it's kind of shouty hardcore, but the songs.
But with songs, yeah.
But that's what it. I mean,
right,
and that's what Sick of It All always best at being. They were, Sick of It All and Clutch. There is a parallel between Sick of It All and Clutch. They're road dog bands that you know what you're going to get when you go and see them.
Yeah.
But they're going to do it better than everybody else.
Right,
they're just going to do it better than everybody else, and that's why they're fucking good. It's one of those things. It's like, oh, I've got a ticket for a Sick of It All show.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good time. That's what you're buying. You're buying
guarantee.
a good. You know it's going to be a fucking good time.
Okay.
It's like that's what you've paid for.
Didn't you go and see them a couple of years back at one of the downloads?
I mean, I've seen Sick of It All a bunch of times over the years. I kind of lose track.
I'm sure you came back to the campsite one time, having just seen Sick of It All, and that was fucking incredible.
Yeah, I mean, they are great. Yeah.
And were you into that album immediately? 94, Scratch the Surface?
The thing of Sick of It All, they were never my favourite fucking band.
Sure.
Right? I never went out and bought the records because somebody else was going to buy the record. Yep. And normally, if I went to see Sick of It All, it's because someone else was going. I'm like, "Oh, do you want to come?" I'd be like,
right.
So it wasn't like I was waiting to buy the tickets. That was never my connection with them. But they're a great band, man.
Lovely
They're a
stuff.
great band. Only the band Biohazard could have been.
Well, speaking of bands that you know what you're getting when you go and see them, the Melvins released Stoner Witch.
Well, you don't. I mean, Melvins are very much not the band you know what you're going to get.
Oh, you
reckon? No, mate, fucking Melvins have got bands of like 9 minutes of fucking just odd noise and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Mate, the Melvins record you get is whatever mood those guys are in on the day, and whoever's in the
whatever
band,
drugs they've taken.
Yeah.
I suppose.
But this is Stoner Witch. This is on that kind of 3 kind of major label records that they released.
Of course, yes. I can't remember what the label was, but yeah, they did go onto a major for a few.
Yeah, and they're great records, and kind of almost like the most normal Melvins records.
Well, yeah, because there was someone who's providing the money going, stop it.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Rein yourselves in, for fuck's sake.
And they don't do that anymore, and thank fuck. I've not done a lot of listening to Melvins records just as those records.
Right.
So I don't have a specific relationship to Stoner Witch, but I remember it being
it's in the pantheon of the good ones. Nice. Digable Planets released Blowout Comb.
Oh, what a fucking record!
I know.
What an album section.
I know. This is 4
nuts.
weeks of this.
Blowout. Right? Digable Planets, man. Nickelbags. All of those tracks, man. What a cool bunch of motherfuckers.
I don't know if it sold a lot in the States. It didn't sell a lot over here, but
no,
it was talked about a lot.
I mean, they were big enough that when they came back and did a reform show, that they were very high up the Coachella bill.
Is that right? Okay.
So
they must have been pretty.
They got their flowers in the States. But
I see.
Robin Bashuri played me.
Cool like that.
I think it's cool like that. It was one of those, Right. And I was like, "What the fuck is this? I need to hear this." Right. And I loved them immediately, and I love that jazz infused, laid back.
That's the thing. You are a big
Afro
fan of that
pick
sound.
hip hop, man. They're cool as fuck, man. Show me cooler people.
No, of course. And I'm trying to think. I'm sure. Is it Butterfly?
Yeah.
I think she was on like a Ninja Tune or a Mowax song. She was doing the vocals on it, and she just added an absolute layer of brilliance to the tune underneath.
You know, Lauryn Hill gets her flowers and she doesn't, and that's
true.
And not that Lauryn Hill is shit, but fucking, let's credit where credit's
also
due.
do that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, and then the last one that I have a note of here is Shellac at Action Park. So the debut Shellac album. And it's astonishing.
That's
absolutely
great, it's great.
Astonishing.
I've not spent as much time with Shellac as I should have done. I should and I will, and I'm gutted that I haven't before Steve Albini died.
Indeed, I had tickets to the show that was going to happen in June.
Yeah,
and it would only been the second time I'd seen them. I'd only seen them once before, but the first time I saw them was one of the best shows I ever saw.
Yeah, I mean, I went to the Shellac ATP that he curated, and saw them when they played there, and they were fucking mind-blowingly good. Absolutely mind-blowingly good, yeah.
And so this album was the first one, obviously, it's their first album, so the first time I'd heard Shellac. I knew who Steve Albini was because of the Nirvana connections, but I didn't really know Big Black or any of those things, or Rape Man. And so this was the first of his bands that I heard, and it was a mate played it to me, and I couldn't believe just how filthy and dirty the guitar sound was.
Oh,
it was just, I'd never heard some scratchiness that was actually in a tune, but there was the scratchy guitars and then this massive bass underneath and huge drums.
It's just like fucking broken glass and treacle, isn't it? That's kind of the sound.
So good, yeah. So I love that album. And like you say, right, this is maybe a 5-week period, a 4 or 5 week period. What the fuck was going on?
Man, they're sank in the water, man.
Unbelievable.
Something in the water. And I feel like these aren't me going, things were good in the 90s. These are records that have talked about long fucking lives.
This is 30 years on, and these are records you go, imagine, when this came out 30 years ago, it blew your head off. It fucking blew your head off.
I reckon if you got a kid that likes fucking like Denzel Curry and shit like that, you can give him Digable Planets. And
right, yeah, okay.
That's amazing. You got a kid that likes kind of dirty fucking rock music. You got a kid that's I don't know, gone from Queens of the Stone Age into some heavier shit. You'd be like, here's Shellac, and they'll be like, that blows my fucking mind. Do you know what I mean? These are. Scratch the surface apps. You put people in front of that band now.
Protection.
Mate,
Korn.
Honestly.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. E17, Steam.
Yeah. Fear no evil, fear no man. I'll put in mind of the beat goes bang.
Yeah. Fucking crazy, man.
Anyway, wait. So, that's the album. That's the albums. Okay, well, look, I mean...
Right, yeah.
Let's get back into REM then, man.
A bit more REM.
Okay, this is track number 5. This one's called Star 69. Anyone thinking that it's a rude reference? Star 69 was when you had an old phone, you press Star 69 to hear what the previous caller was.
Yes, it's like that's the US version. Yes. Yeah. So if it had been released over here, it would be called 1471.
Yeah, 1471. How they find you 1472? Remember that?
No.
That was that's an MIA lyric.
Is it?
how the hell they find you 1472. Yeah.
Oh, right. Oh.
Anyway.
Okay, so here we are.
Here we are. So very much we're in a kind of a teen spirit vibe, aren't we?
It's much more upbeat,
yeah.
From where we were. And this is another one that I remember very well, so I must have heard this album a few times. I'm pretty sure that my girlfriend at the time was into this, so it was probably just played in her house. I definitely would have heard it over and over.
Man. So yeah, this is about someone that's caught in a lie, like a shady, duplicitous person.
Yes. A fake friend, I feel. It's like someone who wants to... Stipe wants nothing to do with this person.
Yeah.
They're in a load of shit, and they're trying to drag him into the shit. He wants none of it, and so he's trying to avoid them.
Yeah, so look, this one's fun, it's upbeat. I'll be honest with you, I feel like I've heard this song a lot of times.
Oh, really? Yeah.
This is it feels like a grunge standard. This feels like a Nirvana album track, a Mudhoney album track. It feels like
maybe
this feels like
Pavement.
Yeah, any number of tracks you might hear on Sub Pop.
Right.
So it's nothing amazing. It's fun and it's upbeat.
It's definitely one of both of those things. I also think it sounds a bit more like 80s REM.
Yeah.
And again, I was not a fan in the 80s. That wasn't my thing. But it was the first time I heard them was in 89 probably. I Believe was the first song I heard. Someone put it on a mixtape, and then I remember Stand and End of the World. I remember all of those ones, and so it reminds me of that era, which I very much enjoy these days. And so listening to this now, I think that's a nice sound for REM to be going back into.
Yeah. That thing where you start drawing lines between kind of Nirvana and Husker Du and stuff like that as well.
Sure.
Feeds in that. Yeah, it's it feels like a band.
Yeah.
Again, it doesn't necessarily do the thing that I want REM songs to do, hit those emotional buttons, but
no,
doesn't sound like this was written to be like that. This is written to be something different.
Oh no, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, this is not a This is not Sweetness Follows. This is not Losing My Religion.
No.
This is more like your Man on the Moon or one of those just catchy pop songs that they do every so often. It's more in that kind of bracket. But I think there is an actual tune here, which is a bonus, so far as what we've heard on this. To me, I think this is a really good one. This is definitely top half of the album for me so far, of what we've heard. And I enjoy it. I do. I think it's kind of classic REM, as in pre-out of time REM stuff, and I enjoy it for that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to damage someone with faint praise. I like it fine enough. It just doesn't do that extra thing.
Fine. No, no, it's not. It's not a big emotional resonance. That's not the sort of song it is. And I was thinking, because on the previous album, obviously they had that song "Star Me Kitten," which was supposed to be called "Fuck Me Kitten." Yeah, but they changed it to Star, and so it made me think that is this supposed to be called "Fuck 69"? Because that would be a very different song.
Very much, yeah.
And then it made me think that perhaps there's a thing in the music business where if a song title has the word "star" in it, it's actually supposed to be "fuck."
Okay.
And so some of them, it's not really going to work. But Boy Meets Girls, Waiting for a Fuck to Fall. It's not going to be there. Or the Buggles, Video Kill the Radio Fuck. Yeah. Not really. Rolls Royce, Wishing on a Fuck. Not really. But I can definitely see David Bowie doing Ziggy Fuck Dust on the Spiders from Mars.
Yeah. Fuck Wars, the original soundtrack.
Fuck Wars, absolutely. Yeah. Madonna's Lucky Fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Moby's We Are All Made of Fucks. Oh, I think maybe it's a thing.
Yeah.
So yes, it's one of, perhaps listeners would like to chip in on that. What's their
yeah. I mean, maybe we could fund it some way. We could start a kick factor.
Good God.
Yeah, I know.
There we are.
Sorry.
Okay, so that's track 5. I quite like that. I genuinely do. I like Star 69.
All right, so next one's called Strange Currencies.
All right. And so, it's track number 6. And it was a single. It was the 4th single in April of 95. And it got to number 9, which is the joint highest chart position that any of the singles off this got. Frequency Kenneth got to number 9. This also got to number 9.
And it obviously sounds a lot more like that country-infused REM of Out of Time.
Sure. Or even... I mean, definitely Out of Time, even some of Automatic.
Yeah.
For sure. And, country music start. And then Stipe's vocal is very Michael Stipe vocal. It sounds like something that could have been from those albums.
Yeah.
And then this chorus, I think it's fucking brilliant.
Oh, mate, this is fucking brilliant. And
so good.
And this isn't on the greatest hits.
No.
How?
4th single released off the album.
This is fucking
This
great,
is
man.
wonderful. This is a huge, soaring chorus.
And it's like, I feel almost basic by being like, but this one fucking makes me feel something, man. That fucking, the idea, and with love comes strange currencies.
Mm-hmm.
What a turn of phrase.
Yeah.
What a turn of
when
phrase.
he gets it right, he gets it fucking right.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. And so
and that fucking man, and I need a chance, and a second chance, and a third chance, and a
know.
fourth chance.
Yeah.
The fucking hell, man.
But then, I was reading around some of the other views on these lyrics, and it's like he's got this crush,
Yeah.
and he's trying to make this crush fall for him.
Yeah.
And he's doing so by almost haranguing her into submission. And that's why I need a second chance, a third chance. Or him, absolutely. He's not taking no for an answer, even though the answer is definitely no.
Yeah.
He's like, no, but you don't understand. I'm a great guy.
Honestly.
You'd love me if you gave me a try.
Give me a word, a signal, a nod, a little breath, just so I can fool myself to make it real. Come on.
Yes, indeed. It's lovely. But this is such a huge chorus on this song that it is instantly better than anything else that I've heard on this album.
Exactly.
Instantly.
I feel the same way. And I kind of almost hate myself a little bit for being that way. Because I'm like, they're trying this exciting new stuff and none of it's really resonated with me so far. But this does.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
The ones that sound like the previous two albums, that's what I want. Like you say, I am basic as shit in that regard as well, I think. There's a video for this, directed by Mark Romanek. Never seen it before in my life. And so I don't know whether I just wasn't watching the right TV channels or whether Warner's had kind of stopped promoting.
I just don't remember this song at all from before.
I remember it. I remember it being a thing, and I don't remember loving it at the time. I remember thinking it was all right, but I don't remember going, oh, finally, here's the one for me. But I just don't remember it being promoted. I don't remember hearing it on the radio, and I don't remember the video, even though it's a Mark Romanek video, and it must have been a ton of money.
Yeah, must have been out there.
Yeah.
Right. We like that one. That's Strange Currencies.
Fantastic. Right.
Next one.
Okay.
It's called Tongue.
It is called Tongue. Okay. And so far it's reminding me of some of the stuff on Automatic as well.
Yeah.
It's got that feel.
This kind of... I think this has kind of got almost like a Motown-y gospel soul feel.
For sure. It's got that like organ in the background.
Yeah.
I don't like the falsetto.
Well, here we are. We're a little bit in pervy Prince territory, aren't we?
Oh, we really are. This is a filth song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's written from a female perspective.
Yeah.
It's like... It's written from someone who's basically the last-ditch booty call.
Yeah. It's a woman who knows that she's not the most attractive, but...
She's kind of being used for sex, and this is like a reflection in her self-esteem.
It's heartbreaking, the lyrics in this, I find. Because, it's like... There's a man who booty calls her as a last resort, and she always says yes. Yeah. Because... that's what she can get, I guess. But she's also hoping that maybe this time he'll realise how great I am and will want to stay and will fall for me.
Yeah.
It's just, oh, God.
No, I mean, look, for me, this is an interesting song.
Sure.
It makes me think.
Yep.
I like it. I don't love it because I don't think that falsetto. I don't think I'm not as opposed to that falsetto as you are. I don't think.
Well, you're a Prince fan.
Yeah.
Sure.
I like it enough, but again, there's not quite enough tune for me. But
sure.
But we're moving in the right direction.
No, I think for me the lyrics on this one are my favourite bit of it.
Yeah.
Not his delivery, not the falsetto. I think the music is totally fine. It's okay, but I think the lyrics of the lines, I want to tell you how much I hate this. Don't leave that stuff all over me.
Yeah.
Right. You call, I'm ashamed to say, ugly girls know their fate. Anyone can get laid. You want a room with a fire escape.
Yeah.
Fucking Christ.
Hard, man.
Call my name, here I come. Your last ditch lay will I never learn. It's just, I feel so bad for this woman.
Yeah, same as that.
It's bad. So I think he really makes me feel something with that. I'm really I'm brought into that world, I don't particularly like the music that he's saying it about. Or saying it
See,
over.
I'm with you. I probably like the song more than you do, a little bit, but I agree completely with what you're saying. This is a great, as a
wonderful lyrics from it. Yeah, brilliant. I really like that. And he has said in an interview, apparently he once said in an interview that the title, Tongue, was an allusion to cunnilingus, which is, I guess, that would make sense. But then he went back on that in a later interview and he said, no, it's not about anything. He reckons someone just cornered him with the question. He went, it's about oral sex. So it might be, it might not be. Sure. It's Michael Stipe. It might be, It might not. But I do think that my other favourite REM songs that are about oral sex are Try Not to Breathe, obviously.
Yeah, fair enough, yeah.
I'm between two on this. I'm going to go with Man on the Mons.
Fuck me. Okay.
Because I almost went with Man on the Poon. And
Man on...
I thought better of it. And obviously, off out of time, Cunty Feedback.
Shiny Happy Helmet.
That'll do. There you go.
Well, I'm sorry, I haven't had time to prepare these in advance. I'm riffing.
Oh, Jesus. REM and oral sex. It's not the two that you really put together, is it?
No.
Fine. Okay, well, because that's track number 7. I think it's great in some ways, but leaves me a little bit cold musically.
Yeah.
But one of my favourite in terms of actual lyrical content.
Sure.
Brilliant.
Right, so the next one is called Bang and Blame. Now, what does that sound like to you?
Nothing.
Pause it.
Nothing. Oh, pause it. Oh, 1 second. Go on.
Loveful by the Cardigans.
Oh, I see that. That. Yeah. Fine, okay. So, I mean, Loveful therefore sounds like this because it was after, right?
Loveful came afterwards. Yeah. But I listened to it and I went, what is that? It's Loveful.
I see. Nice. Well, we're back into that tremolo, the whammy stuff going on. And this was the second single. It's only got to number 15, November 1994. And apparently this was the band's last single to reach the top 40 in the US Billboard Hot 100.
Oh, really?
It got to number 19. But it's the last one that reached number 4 at top 40.
Oh, nothing from New Adventures in Hi-Fi?
Apparently not. Not. It reached number 1 in Canada, and it was REM's only single to do that. This one. But yeah, it's a bit more brooding. It's kind of a moody song. It's a minor key.
I think the verse vocal is a little too reminiscent of Losing My Religion.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Almost. Yeah.
Okay.
And the chorus is in that grungy, quiet, loud.
Sure. Yeah. Build up to the chorus and then let it go.
Yeah.
But I think it's catchy, this one, and I do like the fact that it's a bit more minor key. I like that about it.
Yeah, for me, it felt a little bit by numbers and a little bit like it reminded me too much of better stuff that they'd done and of better stuff that other people have done.
Okay,
I thought not as strange as the second track, but I thought this was a strange single choice as well.
I see that after What's the Frequency, Kenneth, which was a big kind of up major key quite fast.
Yeah,
they probably wanted to do something slightly different. Here's another flavour of the album.
Yeah.
And so I can see it in that, and I would definitely go for this over Strange Currencies.
Yeah.
So I can kind of see that, but it's not a very strong radio song, I don't think. I like this bit. I like where it goes into this sort of little solo. But overall...
Yeah, I like that bit when it goes to the solo as well. That's...
Overall, it doesn't do much. It's a 5 out of 10 in that sort of way for me.
I'm pretty much in the same place. I think it's fine. But yeah, it's not loads.
This one, the backing vocals were provided by Rain Phoenix, who's the sister of River.
Yeah.
Who died in October 1993 and was a friend of Stipe and the band.
My fucking mates of his kept dying, didn't they?
I know. Well, this whole album is dedicated to River Phoenix. It says for River.
Really?
Yeah. So apparently that one really hit him hard, Stipe.
Oh, wow.
And it took a long time. He kind of had a patch where he couldn't write. Total, I can't even think about putting music on a bass. And so it took a while for him to get over that because he was such a good friend, apparently.
But then again, his writing did rise from the flames.
There you go. So, yes.
If only there was some kind of suitable metaphor.
There's an analogy somewhere, I'm sure.
But yeah, okay. So look, that's 8 tracks.
That is, yes.
So I think I preferred the second four.
This middle section, right? Sure.
It started to feel more like a record to me.
Yeah.
I was right with it.
Yes, I am. I can see why. People often said that of this album, it's the one that was in every charity shop and every bargain bin because it was bought en masse day one by fans, and then people were like, "Oh, what's this? This isn't the REM I wanted." And so, and that's what I'm getting so far. This isn't the REM I was expecting or wanted. I think I suspect I'm probably a bit more into it than you are because I'm probably 4 out of 8.
Okay,
I reckon I'm around that.
I'm not. I'm probably 3.
Okay, I'm 4, maybe a 4.5, 5. Because I'm like, okay, I'll give that one a pass.
I'm 3, maybe 4.
Fine. But yeah, this is okay. It's all right so far. But yeah, we're 2/3 of the way through.
Right, shall we crack into the singles?
Let's try the singles. Okay, so yeah, singles-wise, I'm looking at, for the top 10, I'm looking at the week of the October 9th to the 15th, which was the second week that this album was number 1.
Yeah.
And there's quite a few new entries in this top 10. So let's get into that. Number 10 is one that I will admit to not remembering at all, but from one of your favourite artists.
Yeah, it's Madonna. But
it is Madonna, right, yeah.
Is this like a bedtime story song?
Good question. I've only got it on the greatest hits on this
one.
Oh, I think it's... Yeah, it is. 94, so yeah, it might be.
I mean, I don't know what the song's called at all.
No, it's called Secret, and I don't remember this one bit.
Do you know what? Now you've said that, I kind of am half remembering it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's quite nice, that chorus.
It is, and when I listen to it, I'm almost like, oh, this rings a bell, but not in a way that I'm like, oh, I do remember that.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, no, actually, that bit, yeah. Okay, now I remember
Something's coming over.
Yes, all right.
Yeah, no, that's just a great fucking song.
Okay, so now that chorus I remember, but I didn't remember any of that build-up.
It's on Bedtime Stories, but yeah,
this
song would have passed me by at the time. I was not listening to Madonna at this point.
In late 94.
Yeah, this is like when I was listening to Deftones, who were Maverick, on her label.
Oh, true enough.
But I wasn't listening to them. Actually, I wasn't listening to Deftones.
Not yet, you weren't, but
no. Yeah, I like that one.
Okay, number 9, this one. I know for a fact you know this because you've fucking singing
it's fucking E17.
Yeah,
Steam. Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to give you...
That's great.
Well done. That whistling bit, that's catchy.
Yeah. Could you put the rap on?
Let me find the rap. Wow. Who's this? Is this Brian or Tony?
That's Tony.
I mean, I'm also going to have to play the very, very end of this song because it's a disgrace.
Inside it's raining, but outside it's wet.
Exactly. Yeah.
Outside is raining, but inside is wet.
How did that get past any censors ever?
That's fucking
Jesus
brilliant.
Christ. Okay, so yeah, that's number 9. Steam by E17. I mean, it's almost a shame that we didn't have to do that after the fun we had with the other E17.
Should we just do it?
No. Number 8.
That's what I'm dealing with, guys. Sorry, I tried.
So number 8, and this was everywhere for a while.
Oh man, what a tune, man! This is a song that every millennial girl knows every word to.
Oh, straight away, yeah.
So
it's Natasha Bedingfield over time.
It's Stay by Lisa Loeb, obviously.
Yes, it is.
But, yeah, I fucking love this tune.
Did you like it at the time?
No,
I thought it was really fucking wishy-washy bullshit.
Yeah.
But come on, it is.
Every millennial girl knows every word to this.
And every millennial girl also kind of wanted to look like Lisa Loeb in that video as well.
Yeah.
That was a fashion statement for a while. I was like, okay, yep. Well done, you got that. What else did she ever do? I mean, I know she didn't have to because she probably made millions off this one song and therefore the album, but I remember never hearing from her again.
An album of reggae songs.
Good. Well, someone had to.
Yeah.
Right, number 7. This is a tougher one. It's like, you might recognise this song, but if you can remember who it is, I'll be very impressed. I mean, that's kind of almost generic at that point, because there's a few had this lick or whatever, this kind of style.
It's like one of those.
Right.
It's like Eternal, but it's not Eternal. It's
very much.
Yeah.
That, yes. Right. So it's one person.
Oh, it's one person.
It's a woman rather than a band or a group.
Okay. Is it Louise Nerdin?
No, it's not. it's not that much like Eternal.
Right, okay. I'm losing track of when she's actually there. No, I don't.
So it's called Sweetness.
Yeah. Hang on. No, it's not Michelle Gale.
Michelle Gale!
Fucking is Michelle Gale,
Benson.
yeah.
Fucking got Michelle Gale. That's impressive.
Come on.
That's great.
Wow. I am genuinely surprised that you got that. I didn't think you'd get Michelle Gale.
There you go.
There we go. That's a good little pop tune, though. It's catchy. Number 6 is Corona Rhythm of the Night. Seen that many, many times.
Mm-hmm.
Number 5, I'm going to play this. You'll know it, but you have to get it quick, kind of, on this one.
Hey now,
yeah.
What's the matter with you girls? Just wanna have fun now.
The re-recorded weird reggae version
of
Girls Just Wanna Have Fun by Cyndi Lauper.
Which I kind of quite like as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
no, I think it's horrible.
Oh, I quite like it.
I see. Fine. So that's number 5. Number 4, when we're talking about terrible reggae songs...
Jesus, is this madness?
No. Oh, no. No, but I can see why you'd say that.
I mean,
this is awful.
I'm not going to know which one of them it is. Oh, no.
Yeah, okay.
Is this fucking UB40?
I mean, it's
Ali
featuring
Campbell.
Ali Campbell, exactly, and Robin Campbell.
And Buju Banton?
No, but...
Pato Banton?
Pato Banton.
Pato Banton. Oh, the Irish one. Yeah. It's all Patrick or Banton.
Fucking yeah. So, yeah. Baby Come Back by Pato Banton.
Which was what that other song was about.
What?
The one we were just talking about, the tongue song.
No. Come Back.
Yeah, come on back.
Oh, dear God.
Don't call me a comeback. I remember that fucking Pitman.
MC Pitman.
Don't call me a hunchback.
Don't call me a hunchback. Fucking wonderful. Oh, Jesus. All right, number 3 is Bon Jovi's Always, which we saw last time. Number 2, Wakefield Saturday Night. And then number 1, you probably will know this. Or you'll get the band quickly, I'm sure.
It's Sure by Take That.
It is Sure by Take That. Yes.
That's great.
And E17 gutted that Take That are number 1, and they're only at number 9.
I mean, I think E17 were very much used to the fact they were getting sloppy seconds, but Take That.
So, yeah, true enough. Again, catchy pop tune.
Mm-hmm.
Can't fault Gary Barlow and his knack of writing a big pop hit.
No.
Yeah. Okay, so that's number 1 in the charts this week.
What else we got?
Fucking loads.
Oh, no.
Like, actually, fucking loads. All right, this one got to number 17, and we've kind of mentioned it already. This is the David Morales mix.
Oh, okay.
Which was the single mix of this one.
This is ringing no bells at all so far.
Really? Oh, this was huge. And as soon as he starts singing, you're going to like, oh, this cunt. I'll skip it forward a little bit.
Oh, it's Jamiroquai.
Jamiroquai.
What's the track?
The Space Cowboy.
I don't. Okay. Oh, yeah. I can hear it now, yeah.
This is the return. That one.
Yeah,
indeed. All right, you didn't get that, so I'm going to give you... Not up to speed.
Fair enough.
Right, this one got to number 24, and I seem to remember it passing me by at the time, because I'm a fucking dickhead.
Oh, yeah, this is a fucking tune, man.
One of the best. One of the absolute best. You remember which one it is?
I can, yeah. Hang on. Give me a second. Oh, it's Street Spirit?
Nope.
No, it's
No.
My Iron
Lung.
Yeah.
It is My Iron Lung. So Radiohead, it's off the My Iron Lung EP, which I'm guessing must have been the first thing we have heard off the Bends, because the Bends comes out in 95.
Yeah.
And so this is end of 94. And I remember it happening, but the thing is, all I knew from Radiohead was Creep and Anyone Can Play Guitar. And I was so fucking sick of those songs. So I was like, well, Radiohead, oh yeah, they're that shit band. And didn't pay any attention to what was going on. It wasn't until, I think, the next single they released, which was still not the album, that I was like, oh wait, what? This is Radiohead?
Yeah.
I wish I'd realised this at the time, because this is incredible, this song.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't get into Radiohead until OK Computer.
Right.
I was like, yeah, the hangover from
Pablo Honey.
Yeah.
Sure.
Was that fun? And, you know, I think I kind of just was dismissive of Fake Plastic Trees and stuff. And once I clicked once I clicked with OK Computer, I went back and I went, oh yeah, the Benz is marvellous as well.
Wonderful. Yeah. No, that's one of the ones that I don't think gets to number one. The Benz isn't number one, but we could definitely talk about the Benz on an episode.
Sure.
I would put that forward.
As long as we can talk about Kid A as well. Or do we have to talk about Kid A?
I think we might do.
Yeah.
I think we might do. I mean, we definitely have to do OK Computer. Right. Okay, so yeah, My Iron Lung by Radiohead off the My Iron Lung EP. And like I say, I only got to number 24. Surely you're not going to remember this, but by the sound of it, you might get it. This one got to number 28 in the singles chart.
I can't remember this bass line.
Oh, do you?
Vaguely.
1994, body count still in the
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
This is the title track. This is Born Dead.
Yeah.
And guess what? It sounds like Body Count.
Yeah.
I mean, again, let's skip into the meat of it. There you go. There's Body Count. Iced tea. So yes, that's Born Dead by Body Count.
Yeah.
Number 28 in the charts. Oh God, why have I put this in? You might remember this for your sins. Got to number 37.
Oh,
It's called Shoot All the Clowns.
I mean, it sounds like it sounds like Jesus Jones.
Oh right, no, very different.
Oh, okay, now it doesn't.
Yeah.
What is this?
Oh
I don't think this is very good.
no, you're very right.
Oh no! Oh, is this Bruce Dickinson?
Yes, it is. It's Bruce Dickinson solo. Shoot all the clowns.
Hate Bruce. I fucking shoot Bruce Dickinson.
Oh no! Only got to 30. The fact that it only got to 37, I think, shows that even Iron Maiden fans are a bit sniffy about this.
Is this on Tattooed Millionaire?
No, it's on Balls to Picasso.
Oh, fucking prick. Such a twat. I love Iron Maiden, but I know that Bruce is a twat.
Right. Dear me, dear me. So yeah, anyway, that's Shoot All the Clowns by Bruce Dickinson. So thanks for that, Bruce. Cheers, mate.
Okay, folks, it's Dave here with a little look behind the scenes of the PCL curtain. Now, as we said at the start of the episode, what we were hoping to do was record this episode, go off to do a pub quiz, come back, record the end of it. Our view was that Krista might be a little bit drunk. Mm-hmm. That's what we thought the worst case scenario was going to be. Anyway, so what actually happened is we went off and do the pub quiz.
Came second.
Came second. Fuck you, Cliff. If Cliff, former friend of the podcast.
We're deleting the Prodigy episode.
Yeah, we're deleting it now. Fuck you, Cliff. We came second. No, but the weird thing was, I was feeling absolutely fine. Got halfway through the quiz, And all of a sudden, I started to feel a little bit unwell. Started to feel a bit kind of gassy, a bit hot, a bit
which you know
unpleasant.
is not unknown for Dave Fenson.
No, you know, I'm a man
gassy.
in my late 40s. Hot and gassy is the name of my biography.
Yep.
And so, yeah, decided actually at the end of the quiz, do you know what, I don't really feel up to going to do this. Went home where I had some kind of probably norovirus and threw up 18 times throughout the course of the night. Then wasn't unable to eat until the following Sunday. So here we are, a week and a half later, finally able to record the back end of this podcast. So if the sound has changed at all between there and there, this is the reason why. Sorry, guys.
There you go.
Best laid plans of mice and men and all that kind of stuff.
All that sort of stuff.
So yeah, we're now going to crack on with the rest of the singles and act like it never happened.
Yeah, so we're picking up kind of where we left off in the middle of the singles. We've just done Bruce Dickinson, and you know that's
they know that, they've just heard
exactly for our sins.
Yeah.
Next one up, I'm going to play a bit of this. I will not expect you to know it at all. It's Ride.
Oh, is it Trevor and Simon from...
It does sound like Swing Your Pants. Yeah, this is Ride with I Don't Know Where It Comes From. And again, I've said before, this was off kind of their first album where they went a bit more just generic indie.
Yeah.
They weren't doing their big spacey, shoegazy stuff so much. And it's nice. It's 60s. It's a bit birdsy, that sort of stuff. But it wasn't what I was into, and so fine. This was another one along the line of like, oh, I see, Ride have changed now. That's what they're a different band, really. But yeah, so that's Ride for anyone out there who's a Ride fan.
But no Shark on the album, which is probably a bonus.
Yeah,
for you.
That really was. Thank you. The fucking one-off that was. Okay. So the next one I'm going to play, you'll probably recognise, but I don't know if you're going to remember who did it.
Oh, I like it though.
This only got to number 72 over here. I imagine it did maybe a bit better in the States.
With my Afro puffs.
Oh.
Shit up, about to tear shit up.
Oh,
nice. This is Lady of Rage.
It is Lady of Rage.
Afro puffs, yeah.
Afro puffs. Oh, right. You knew that straight away. I'm going to give you the...
That's great.
Well done. Right, did you know that at the time?
Yeah.
Was she on the in with Snoop and stuff?
Yeah, Lady of Rage was on Chronic and Doggy Style.
Right.
So I knew her from that.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. I don't know if she had an album out at this point over here, or was it just this single kind of thing?
I think her album was available. It may have been import only. It certainly didn't do numbers over here.
No.
But I think she did a bit more in the States.
Oh, great. Well, I'm impressed that you knew that almost straight away from when she was in. Fair play. Well done. Another one that you're going to know, hopefully straight away. This only got to number 78 over here. Well, let's play you this one.
Yeah, come on, man. It's Demon Cleaner by Caius.
Demon Cleaner, exactly it is, yes.
What a tune, man.
Oh, it's incredible.
The compound drum roll.
Beautifully done. Just everything about this is so cool. That bass line coming in, dum dum dum. It's just like laid back but a little bit scary.
There's a fucking lovely Napster era live bootleg recording of Tool playing this with Scott Reeder.
Oh, that rings a bell. Yes, indeed. Oh, that must have been amazing to watch live. I'm quite sure that Walker Tate is going to be enjoying this right now. Bit of Caius for you, mate.
Yeah, big up Walker. Also Gaz from True Cult.
For sure. Yeah, no, okay. Number 78, this got to. I didn't even think this would have charted. I'm surprised it got into anywhere.
The thing is, I was nowhere near Caius at this point. Caius came later for me, but God, fucking hell, I love Caius.
Sure.
I love Caius.
But 1994, I wasn't in that loop at all.
Only the band Queens of the Stone Age could have been.
Lovely stuff. Okay, so Demon Cleaner there by Caius. Next one, let's do a complete about face on Caius. This one got to number 27.
That's very bright, isn't it, that guitar?
Certainly is.
Oh, Jesus Christ, it's Shampoo.
It is Shampoo. Yeah, oh, right. Yeah, fair play, man. It's Viva La Mega Babes.
Viva
La Mega Babes.
Oh, go fuck yourself. What in the loaded magazine is this shit?
Shampoo. Exactly. They did have a follow-up to Trouble. This was it. Yeah.
Real poo for my sham friends.
Quite. Only got to number 27 though, so I think even at this point the record company was to go, we may have made an error here. Yeah. This isn't quite the epoch-making album that I thought it was going to be.
It's this again.
Yeah, it's this. Yeah, fine. Okay, so yes, you got Shampoo, and while we're on the girl power tip, we've had this one already, but I think it's so good. I'm going to play a bit of it now. We did the whole album on this one. Tori Amos, God. This is just brilliant. I'm so gutted that I didn't know this until we did the album, because I could have had 30 years of enjoying this tune.
We could have. Yeah.
Brilliant.
And I wish I'd been to see Tori Amos, which I never have.
Yeah, that's true. Never mind. Okay, so Tori Amos there with God.
Next time Tori Amos plays, we should go and see Tori Amos.
I would be up for it.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's just fucking sort that out.
Fine. Oasis released Cigarettes and Alcohol, got to number 7, which obviously we've done very, very recently. This one got to number 15. I wouldn't have got this at all. I don't know if you do.
It's familiar.
Okay.
Yeah,
so it's poppy. It's a pop tune.
Oh, hang on.
See, I don't really recognise this.
No, it's not Jordan Knight. It's
because I know who it is. I'm like, that sounds like their other song that I really like.
Oh, is it Let Loose?
It's Let Loose.
Oh,
yes.
I don't know this then.
Oh, right. It's Let Loose. It's called 17.
Is that any good? It sounds all right.
Exactly. It sounds all right. It sounds like, sounds like what Let Loose do. Here's your chorus.
I tell you what this fucking sounds like. Fucking proto-busted.
Oh, God, it does.
Yeah.
It really does.
Really does.
Oh, wow. Okay. No, I've not even put that together, but that's very much in that wheelhouse. Fine. Well, I wonder if they can sue.
I wonder if they can play download next year.
I would go and see Let Loose on a download stage. That'd be great. That'd be terrific. We've got this one got number 17, and we're going to have to do the album at some point, but I think it's not until next. Well, no, it's definitely not until next season, because we're right at the end of this one.
This is Elastica.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Can you remember which one this is?
This is Selection is Made, whatever it's called.
Connection.
Connection,
exactly. This is Elastica Connection.
Yeah,
yes.
I really like this tune.
Oh, this is a great tune.
That's great.
And I mean, we'll talk more about this when we do the full album.
Yeah.
But whenever this came out, it was instant indie dance floor.
Yeah.
Straight away. Yes, they were talked about in the NME and Melody Maker, so there was hype behind them. But it was just, this is made for an indie club. Yeah. But yes, it's a great tune. Great tune.
I was probably for Damon Albarn to be in something with some talent as well.
Oi! Lol. Oh, dear me. Good grief. Okay, this one got to number 26.
Oh, it's this is a Pantera's cover of Planet Caravan.
It absolutely is. Yes, the Black Sabbath song.
Yeah.
Yes. Well done. I think this is rubbish, if I'm honest.
I think it's an odd choice. I've always thought it was an odd choice.
And I thought it was a very odd choice for a single.
I don't think it's rubbish. I quite like it.
Okay.
I quite like Phil's kind of murmuring on it.
Yeah.
But I mean, it feels like quite a superfluous, unnecessary cover.
It absolutely it does. It feels like an unnecessary cover. It feels like a very strange choice for a single.
Yeah.
And it's not what I want whenever I want to hear Pantera.
No, it's it feels like Pantera going, "Oh, we can do this as well."
Yes,
here we are. Come on, guys, check us out. We can do this too. We're not just those guys. But it's like,
maybe you are. Maybe I prefer.
Maybe you kind of are.
Yeah. Okay, but
at least they won't say anything racist.
Hopefully not.
Just try not to say anything racist, Phil.
Who's living in this caravan? Don't say gypsies. Right. Then the next one I've got here. This only got to number 65. Probably in a similar way to Lady Rage. It was bigger in the States. There's a lot of this about in that era.
Oh, yeah. Boom!
And I don't recognise this at all. Not even a little bit.
No, I don't remember this.
No.
Hang on.
Let's get it into it.
Let me the verse.
Open up and let the funk flow in. From this nigga named Jay and his newfound friend. I'm hitting switches like Eric on the solo creek. For yo G, it's the BR18.
So that's the Brat.
Da Brat, it is indeed.
That's the Brat.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't remember this at all.
No, it's called Functified.
Yeah, Functified.
I don't remember Da Brat.
I remember the Brat, but I remember being like, I'm not interested in that.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
This is like the emergence of some of that shit where I'm like,
you've heard this could be successful.
Yeah, it's just, like I remember the Brat coming out, and I'm like, that just doesn't seem like something I'm interested in.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, again, because I know the name Da Brat. I know nothing else about Da Brat. Was it a case of a record company going, quick, find someone who can do a G-Funk thing because we don't have someone on our label who's doing it?
I don't even think it was that. I think it came out of the underground, and it was just like, okay, here's a sound, here's an artist. We're starting to get in the era where if you're in a record shop in America in 1994, you've got two sections. You've got rock and rap, basically. That's what you've got, and then then you've got the kind of the pop thing that's happening adjacent to it. But American labels were stuffing their rosters with hip hop artists.
Oh yeah, sure.
Of various pedigrees,
yeah,
and it was about who you know. And I'm trying to remember. I can't even remember who Da Brat was affiliated with.
Yeah,
I remember she
sure.
was affiliated with someone, and this is that era when you start getting that kind of New York sound coming out, like with Jay-Z, people like that start making waves. And I was just less interested in that. I've mellowed some of it in retrospect.
I mean, we saw Notorious B.I.G. was starting to put stuff out at this point as well. But no, I don't know if Da Brat was part of a larger crew, or if she was originally in something else and this was her solo thing. I do not know. Yeah, I don't recognise that song one bit.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I'm just looking at it. It was on So Def, so she was coming out of that Jermaine Dupri.
Oh, is it? Oh, right. Okay.
That kind of stable. That's why it's got that. You can hear that R&B kind of influence on it.
Yeah.
And I think that's a lot of that stuff. That kind of more heavily R&B stuff was the stuff I was looking at and going,
right.
Because at the same time, you got Wu-Tang out there talking about fucking R&B. We call that rap and bullshit.
Sure.
So I was very much
aside.
I was in my tribal stage, man. I was like,
a team here.
This is real. This is I was sat there, white kid from Luton. Come on, guys, you've got to be on the right side of this argument.
God's sake, what are you thinking?
Had a lot of very strong opinions.
I'm sure.
As teenage, but you knew me when I was in my 20s. I had a lot of opinions.
A lot of opinions.
Yeah,
lots of opinions. All right, well,
still got a few.
I reckon you're going to get this one straight away because this was. I remember this at the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this is this Method Man?
No.
Hang on. No.
So this only got to number 91.
What is this? I know what this is. I've got this.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You'll have the album. Because it's I like a hip hop classic.
Oh, it's fucking Gangstar.
Gangstar,
sorry,
indeed. This is Code of the Streets.
Code of the Streets, yeah. So I just couldn't get the.
I know what you mean with the meth sound on that.
Yeah, all you need. Yeah, all you need beat out of my head. But yeah. Code of the Streets.
Code of the Streets.
So this is on
massive. On Hard to Earn.
Hard to Earn.
Yeah. No, this is just a great. And this is the distillation of Guru's voice and vocals.
Yeah.
Premier's beats and samples. It's just gorgeous.
Mate, it's just like there was just that fucking great line. I think it's in My Steez, and it was just like emblematic of hip hop at the time, where they was they were talking about they weren't the fucking biggest, they weren't the bright whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like I'm stealing at least 6 minutes of every rap radio hour, and it's like 100% you are, man, because they're not at the top of the list. They weren't when all the kind of the rappers were starting to become millionaires.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't happening for them. But everyone knew.
Everyone
Guru
looked
is
up
one of
to
the best rappers of all time.
Oh, sure.
Primo, arguably the best producer of all time.
Amazing. Yeah. And this is one of their absolute drop dead classics. I feel.
Mm-hmm.
Code of the Streets. Yep. Wicked. Right. Another one here. This got to number 20. Right. And we've had one of the singles off this album before.
Yes, this is Green Day.
Green Day.
And this is Welcome to Paradise.
Welcome to Paradise.
That's great.
Yes, it is. And so we had seen Basket Case, I think, but it was like really low down, like 70 or something. this is up to number 20. So I'm guessing the album is now out. People are into it. People are talking about it, and it's starting to happen.
Basket Case and Longview are on rotation on MTV.
Sure.
There's a buzz building.
Yes, indeed. So, yeah, I think it's a brilliant song. And I'm not a big Green Day fan, like, in general. I wouldn't go and see them if they were there. But I think they have 5 or 6 fucking fantastic
I think
songs.
Dookie's a pretty bulletproof record,
Right.
man. You know, I mean, it kind of suffers a little bit from, the tropes of the time. You know, it is a record of its time.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, you've got Welcome to Paradise on there, Longview, Basket Case.
Oh, and all of those are really good tunes.
Yeah,
they
exactly.
absolutely are. Yeah.
You know, I mean, I think even moving forward, I think, kind of Good Riddance, Time of My Life is fucking
Oh,
gorgeous.
that's tremendous. I love Hitching to Ride. I love Brain Stew.
Yeah.
You know, I think
they're a solid greatest hits band.
Exactly.
But they're one of those bands where one of the things that spoils it is I just don't really like them.
Oh, I see, yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. I don't have an issue with them, but...
fucking Trey Cool. I mean, that's... come on.
I just don't think I would go and... Because they play for, 2.5 hours these days. I don't think I'd be able to stand through, or sit through, a 2.5 hours worth of Green Day.
I don't care about that, man. I don't want to hear the deep cuts off Nimrod.
Oh, shit,
you know what I mean?
No, absolutely. All right, cool. So Welcome to Paradise. Yes, indeed. And this one, this got to number 24. We've mentioned the album in this episode already. And this was actually the first single released off the album, which surprises me, because that's not how I remember it.
Corey Feldman, obviously.
Jesus Christ.
I try to believe what I feel these days. It makes life much easier for me. It's hard to decide what is real these days when things look so busy to me.
Is it ringing a bell?
I mean, it's...
Because you definitely know this album.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like... Is it Moloko or something like that?
Oh, no.
It sounds like...
If you just had to guess who... We take the singer out of it, because it's a guest singer.
Okay.
So if you just had to guess who the music sounded like, you're probably going to be along the right lines. It's called Sly.
Is it Sabres again?
No.
What the fuck is it?
It's Massive Attack.
It's Massive Attack.
It's Massive Attack,
I
yeah.
don't remember this song at all.
This is Sly off Massive Attack, and this was the first single, it turns out. Yeah, because I thought of Protection.
Do you know, I haven't listened to Protection in fucking years.
Right. I just kind of, in my head, I thought Protection was the first single of Protection.
Yeah, so did I.
Because I remember the video being everywhere.
I do not... this is like the first time I've heard this song.
Right. So this, I can't remember who it is. I've got the single over there. I can't remember who the guest is. But I remember this coming out. And again, I was a little bit... Oh, that's a shame. I thought it was going to be a lot more exciting.
Yeah, because this to me sounds like someone doing Massive Attack not particularly well.
Coffee table.
Like fucking Propeller Heads doing Massive Attack.
I see, okay.
That's what this sounds like to me.
I think this is nice, but it's just like, it's not quite as cool or as interesting as I wanted. Then Protection came out, and I was like, oh, that's a great tune. That's a really nice song. But I remember this from the time I bought it on the time.
This is really weird. I'm amazed. I thought I knew this album better than that.
Right,
so I'm gonna have to
but this
listen to
is slipped out of your head.
Yeah,
this one.
completely.
Right, okay. Well, I'll tell you what won't have slipped out of your head, because this got to number 24.
Alice, what's the matter?
Fuck's sake. Oh, fuck this song.
Yep. Big up Gaz from True Cop Pop again.
Fuck Terrorvision. Fuck Terrorvision.
Oh, this is fun.
No, it's not.
It's very silly. It's very basic. But, yeah, that's what Terrorvision do, isn't it? Alice, what's the matter? Terrorvision. Of how to make friends and influence people. Fair enough. Let's move on to this one. And this one only got to number 43, but it was kind of their calling card, their first single.
Sex Pistols.
No, it does sound like it though.
Oh, fuck off.
There you go.
No, I've got no issue with Supergrass. I remember this coming out and really taking against it.
Okay, I
and
see.
then it took me a while to get into Supergrass.
You were okay with them in the end.
Yeah.
I see. I see.
I still find this mildly annoying, actually.
Well, because weirdly, I think this is good, but then they did this. They did Man Size Rooster, which both of them I like, and then they put All Right, and I think All Right's fucking dreadful. It really annoys me, that song. I was the other way around.
It was very overplayed. All Right.
It's just. I find it grating.
I kind of like more like Richard III era.
That's great.
I found Supergrass. I've never really listened to this album start to... Actually, I've heard this album start to finish because,
it's been on.
Yeah.
Fine. But I think the Richard III one, that's a great tune. Going Out, those are great singles. That kind of second, third album really hit the spot.
Mm-hmm.
I think this first album, it is of its time. It's very much... This is... a young band, their debut, just being kind of frantic and all that sort of stuff. And it works in a lot of ways, but it put me off them a bit.
I think as well, again, it's that tribalism. At that time, like, if you like all the indie kids had bought all the hype about this, like we're at Switch, it's like this was a big band amongst a load of people that I did not associate myself with.
Of course,
do you know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely.
So there was a tribalism at play there, and I was ready to be annoyed by this band.
Yeah, and you would be able to look at someone in the clubs you were going to and go, all right, you're probably going to like Supergrass, but you look like a twat to me.
You're wearing a skinny tie and a shirt.
That's right, exactly.
Fuck off. Yeah, no, I mean, but and in retro, there's an interesting quote that Stuart Lee's come out with in the last few. Well, I think I've read it in the last few days. So, but he goes like one of these things notes to himself was, when he looks at things like the rave era and the Britpop era. Things that he looked at in disdain because everybody else was enjoying. Maybe it's sometimes not a good idea not to just hate stuff because everybody else likes it.
I see.
I mean, I'm mincing that.
Yeah, you're paraphrasing too. Yeah. Sure, but I understand. We try and say on this show, it's always better to like something than not, and there are some old prejudices of mine, music-wise, that I am trying to overcome. And you mellow out when you get older, and you're like, I don't give a shit as much anymore.
And there's some things that I'm hanging on to with a death grip.
David Albarn.
Yeah, I wish I was hanging on to him with a death grip. Fucking neck.
It does always remind me of the joke about the two prostitutes who are talking to each other. Mm-hmm. And one says, "Oh, have you ever been picked up by the fuzz?"
No, but been sung by the tits.
Sung by the tits a couple of times, yeah. Okay, so Caught by the Fuzz by Supergrass. Then we've got this next one, and I'm only putting this in almost for comedy value. It only got to number 55. Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna go on at 11 and go, you don't know this.
I bet this is like fucking Beautiful South or something.
Nope. But what I'm going to say is you don't know this, but I bet you Stephen from True Cop Pop is currently shouting at the speaker. It's called Mary Jane.
Yeah. I don't know who this is.
Of course you don't, because it's one of the Spin Doctors follow-up singles. The
Jesus
Spin Doctors Mary Jane.
I don't want to know.
What is this rubbish?
This is terrible, man.
It's awful.
Yeah.
And yet he still stands up for them as not a one-hit wonder band.
Yeah, you've shamed yourself.
God awful. God awful. Okay. Let's try and get a little bit better. This only got to number 72. And again, probably did better in the States.
Yeah. This album is dedicated to all the teachers that told me I never.
This is B.I.G.
Yes, it is.
And it's you don't know, now you know.
Yeah.
That
exactly. So yeah, one of the big ones, the B.I.G. ones. I wouldn't have got which one this is.
Dream. Word Up Magazine.
Yeah.
I just can't remember what it's called.
Nah.
I'm just going to let it go to the chorus, at which point...
oh, right. Oh? I'm not sure if he says it in the chorus. I'm going to skip to...
What's it called?
And if you don't know,
now you know.
N-word, yeah. That's a radio edit.
Probably. I think it's off the greatest hits, this version. It's Juicy.
Juicy,
Yes, indeed. So, yes, I'd
have never got that name.
Fair enough. And I don't remember this from the time. Obviously, I was not into B.I.G. at the time. I'm still not into B.I.G. in general. Mm-hmm. I have heard that, and I probably heard it in 94, but just went, nah, this is not for me. Were you aware at that point?
I probably wouldn't have liked it in 94. I got into the Ready Life After Death album, sorry, the Ready to Die album, and
of course.
I really like that track in context of that album. I really like that track in general. I think it's a banger.
One I can't play you, because it's not on Spotify, is Tim Dog with Bitch with a Perm.
Okay, which is about Snoop Dogg,
right, yeah. It got to number 49. And that got higher than Juicy by B.I.G.
I mean, the thing is that Snoop beef was a lot, man.
Apparently so.
You know, it's
apparently so.
You know, what's the Snoop lyric? Tim M-U-T-T, because here's a Jimmy joke about your mama that you might not like. I heard she was a Frisco duck, but fuck your mama. I'm talking about you and me toe to toe. Tim M-U-T-T. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, there you go. That was something like that anyway.
Right, nice. Well, there seems to be a lot of beef.
Your bark was loud, but your bite wasn't vicious, and them rhymes you were kicking were boodalicious. Yeah, you did with Doggy Dog. Oh, is it crazy with your mama and your daddy hollering maybe?
Well, I see.
Now it's at the Olympics.
I know. Where's Tim Dog?
Did you see him dancing with the horse?
Pardon?
Like he was there with the equestrian. He was like kind of crip walking with a horse that could dance.
Are you shitting me?
Honestly, and I didn't see anyone come up with a headline, nothing but a GG thing, which is heartbreaking.
Dude.
Right?
Well, fuck. That's a missed opportunity.
Ain't nothing but a GG thing, baby.
Jesus Christ.
2 loped out horses, and we crazy.
Wow. Well, I mean, that's blown my mind in many ways.
There you go.
Thank you for that.
The famous Mr. Ed.
Couple of ones that you're not going to know. This is Christine Keeler by The Senseless Things.
Okay.
And if I'm right, this is The Senseless Things kind of at the end of their career. This is, 94. Their heyday was more 92, 93, and so this is the end of that. I remember The Senseless Things because I was into Pop Lead Yourself and Jesus Jones and that sort of thing, but I just don't think they've got the tunes.
I mean, they've always seemed a little bit... I know there are people that are insane mad for them, think really Mark Heads is a genius or was a genius, whatever, but they always seem like an also-ran to me. But it's not my scene, so I don't know.
Indeed, sure. But yeah, this is Christine Keeler, and this one got to number 56, which is, again, what I would expect from latter-day Senseless Things. They were always one of those bands that their cassette single was in the bargain bin.
Sure.
The most recent one, 2 weeks after it dropped out of the charts, it was now 50p. Lots of them. Sure. One of those ones. And then this one got to number 59, and you will know the band by name, at least, definitely. You might recognise her voice and therefore know who it is. You won't know this song, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I mean, I know that voice and it's going to annoy me. I'm not going to get it.
It's Echo Belly.
Echo Belly,
yeah. And the song is called Close But. So. And yeah, so number 59, this is one of the early ones. Yeah. And then obviously they got bigger after this.
I don't care that I didn't know that.
No, that's totally fine. We've got Plastic Man. I can't play it because it's not on the Spotify. Released Plastique. And, he was quite well respected.
I mean, I heard that Plastic Man album with Helicopter on it a lot because Martin Hafsall, if you remember Martin Hafsall, who went to university with, he was in the quiz a lot. He was a massive Plastic Man fan.
Right.
Heard that quite a bit at university.
I see.
It was on in various stoned bedrooms.
Right, yeah, and my mate Tim was a huge Plastic Man fan. Yeah, that's because he did a lot of drugs at university.
Yeah, Robin, Rob Beshuri,
a lot of drugs.
Kim
a lot of drugs.
Well, those guys. I mean, I think Drew as well.
A lot of drugs.
Yeah, Drew wasn't a lot of drugs guy actually, but yeah, just that kind of machines talking to machines techno.
Sure.
Always left me a little bit cold, if I'm honest with you.
Same here. Yeah, I had the same thing with like Black Dog and Autecker and that sort of stuff. It just didn't grab me.
There's bits that I like, Boards of Canada, I'm a bit warmer too, stuff like that. Autecker, I saw Autecker live and I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Aphex Twin as well. A lot of
not for me.
I like some of it, but I don't buy it. I'm not like I couldn't be a completist.
Sure. Oh Christ! Well, you wouldn't be able to because some of those things he fucking released on a crisp packet and for one only.
Yeah. He's an eyelash.
Exactly. All right, the last one I've got. This was the end of a very long single section again, so apologies.
This is a fucking long single section.
There's so many in
I
this.
thought we'd finished almost, but no.
No, we were not even a third of the way through. The last one I've got, and this was a big old tune. This got to number 23, and you'll know who it is immediately. Which one is this song?
Come here, baby. You know
Oh, it's Aerosmith.
Aerosmith. Yeah. What song is this?
It's not Crazy. It's the other one. It's
It is Crazy.
Oh, it is Crazy.
It is Crazy. You were right the first time.
Because they had the two, didn't they? They had the two.
Crazy and Crying.
Yeah, Crazy and Crying. Both of which had Alicia Silverstone and Liv Tyler in the videos.
Indeed, yes, exactly. But yeah, this is Crazy.
Bit weird putting Liv Tyler in these videos,
wasn't it? In like a schoolgirl outfit, doing some girl-on-girl pole dancing or something. Yes, indeed.
God, I fancied the shit out of Alicia
Silverstone was an absolute goddess. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, it's Crazy. And I remember I thought this was all right.
Oh, I hated it.
But it wasn't my thing. I was trying to be cooler than this. But because it was on telly all the time that summer on the MTV, I was watching MTV, it got its hooks in.
Oh, for sure, man.
And this is a big chorus.
I mean, I don't know whether they wrote this or whether this was written for them.
Very true. It might be one of the Moran style.
Because they were very much in their songwriting era at that point. Yeah, fucking shame. I don't know how I feel a little bit sad that they've now retired from live performance.
Oh, of course, I forgot they'd actually announced that.
Last couple of weeks. Yeah. You know, seems like an end of an era.
Makes sense, but yeah.
I mean, it does, but you know, I have always enjoyed like a good Aerosmith song.
Oh, sure.
What a greatest hits band.
Oh, incredible. Yeah. Absolutely incredible. And, you know, they're one of the few bands I would probably almost give a double album of greatest hits. Yeah. Because they've got enough tunes to fill that.
It's such a shame. I've seen them a couple of times and they've always overloaded their set with like blues covers and
that one
stuff
time
you don't need to see.
We saw the Download headline show where it's a fucking festival headline show, play your hits. Yeah. And they did 20 minutes, 25 minutes of blues covers and jamming. Yeah. And I was like, Jesus Christ, guys.
Play the songs, guys.
Yeah, and exactly at the end of the show, we were able to count up. Well, they didn't play, Ragdoll, and they didn't play these other three really big tunes because they were riffing on fucking Van Morrison's Them.
Also, though, like one of my favourite download moments when we were all like being so fucking sniffy about like, I hope they don't play. And I know they're going to, but I don't want them to play. Miss a thing. I just don't want them to play it, man. It's shit. I don't want them to hear this. Yeah. Play something else. They literally turned around 2 seconds into them playing it. A chorus hit, and it turned around, and every one of us that had been slagged were just there with our arms in the air, just fucking singing.
As they hugging each other, I know, tears in our eyes.
I've never been so ashamed of ourselves.
But what a great time that was.
It was wonderful. Anyway, right, cool.
Right, well there you go. That's 110 different singles that we just did.
Yeah, I mean it really was
crazy. It's one of those ones where you have to think, this was October 1994.
October 1994.
The amount of stuff that's just coming out. You know, we've got 20 albums that we talked about.
Yeah.
25 singles.
I know, it's crazy, man.
Fucking
literally crazy.
Yeah, crazy by Aerosmith.
All right, so let's get back in this record. So, I mean, it's fair to say we've not been blown away by this album so far.
No, we've been up and down.
Yeah,
up and down on this for sure. Okay. But we've got like the last third of it that we're going into now.
Yeah, I mean, common sense tells us that probably the last third of the album possibly not going to be the best bit of the album.
Yeah, but we'll see.
Let's see.
So track number 9 is "I Took Your Name."
Okay.
And there's that same sound.
But I like that riff. Sounds like the Stooges.
It sounds like the Stooges, and I mean, if someone in the social said it, but I thought as well, it sounds like Monster Magnet. Yeah. That sounds. This could be off Dope's Infinity.
And see, look, now, if REM are going to be doing this alt rock sound, I'm like, I think this is what I want this to sound like.
Right, sure. If you're going to do this tremolo thing and the kind of the one trick that you've decided to do over and over for this album, this is a better way to do it.
Yeah. And it's like,
whatever effect, I don't know what its effect on the guitar is different or something.
That phaser or something like that.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, so I mean, the lyric in here, I don't want to be Iggy Pop. Do you know what I mean? So it's an obvious nod.
Yes, very much.
But I liked this immediately, and it only ever grew on me.
Oh, yeah. Each time you came round.
Yeah. And there's that very Screaming Trees-esque guitar lead there.
Oh, that is a good way to describe that. And it appears what I got from it is it's about a woman who got married and sacrificed lots of her previous life and her personality or whatever for her husband, and now she's pissed off because he's saying he's not happy, and she's like, I took your fucking name. All after all I've done and sacrificed, you're like, I'm now not happy. Put some fucking effort in.
Yeah, man.
Exactly. Yeah. Don't be such an arsehole. So it's a nice angry kind of lyric as well. And there's a lot. It seems, maybe not a lot, but there's a couple of songs on here where Michael Stipe is singing from a woman's perspective, which is an interesting way to do it. And he's getting into, I've been fucked over.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is really good.
This is great. It's languid. It's got a hook and a sensibility to it. It's just a great example of this kind of 90s alt rock.
Yeah.
This feels like REM doing it. It feels like it's got some character. It feels like it's not just a squandering. I think this song is great.
This is nice. I do like this. I wasn't expecting this sort of sound after what we'd heard so far.
Me either.
And so this is a very pleasant surprise. Really nice. Yeah, good. It's a good groove to it.
And there's like some back in the third verse is coming in, and some amazing backing vocals on this third verse that comes through.
Let's get into a bit of that. I'm trying to think, there were some people on the record on backing vocals on various songs, like well-known people. I don't think this is one of them. This is just the band themselves.
But how good that sounds, though.
Oh, and actually, no, is this? Oh no, it wasn't that one.
Oh, you think it's that Thirst and More one?
No, I was thinking it was River Phoenix's sister.
Okay.
Because she... Oh, no. That was on the previous. That was on Bang and Blame.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. No, okay. Yep.
Brilliant.
Really impressed with it.
Brilliant. My favourite one on the album so far.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Right up to the top?
Yeah.
Number one spot on yours? Right. Well, and yeah, like you said, not what you expect for track 9.
Exactly.
On an album to suddenly come in and go, oh, hold on. Check me out. All right, well, here's number 10 then, and this is Let Me In.
Okay, so here is this super, super dissonant, heavy feel.
Yes.
This is obviously famously the song about the death of his friend Kurt Cobain.
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
And this is not an easy listen. It's intentionally difficult to listen.
Yeah, precisely.
It's a painful listen, right?
It is. It's Michael Stipe's raw thoughts.
So, is it a great song in the terms of the way we dissect songwriting? Maybe not.
Okay.
But I think Kurt would have definitely approved of its atonal nature.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, I think this is a tough listen. But if you care about the subject matter, and as we've discussed on multiple podcasts, we very much do.
Yeah.
It's a very poignant song, and it hits the notes in the way it should.
Yes, indeed. Apparently, Stipe especially, the rest of the band as well, but Stipe especially and Cobain were good friends.
Yeah.
Stipe was worried about Cobain in the months leading up to him killing himself because he was getting into these really dark moods. Stipe was trying to do stuff with him to raise his spirits or to keep him busy, and they had even proposed they were going to try and collaborate on some music.
Yeah.
Which I would have loved to have heard. I would have loved to have heard that. There's a quote from Kurt Cobain who, from a couple of months before he killed himself. In an interview he said, I know we're going to put out one more record at least and have a pretty good idea of what it's going to sound like. Pretty ethereal, acoustic, like REM's last album, Automatic for the People. If I could write just a couple of songs as good as what they've written, I don't know how that band does what they do. God, they're the greatest. They've dealt with their success like saints, and they keep delivering great music. So he really aspired almost to be able to deal with the fame in the way that they had done it, but also just he thought they were amazing songwriters. Yeah. So to hear, I would love to have heard a collaboration between them.
Sure.
But similar to yourself, I love the fact that this is a thing and that Stipe was able to write this song because I think I said earlier that he found it very difficult after Cobain killed himself to write anything.
Yeah,
it was a real writer's block period, and so this sounds like him just vomiting out his pain and his thoughts on it, and so great that it's so true to him. But they didn't write a song. They didn't write a tune or anything. It's just this kind of squally guitar with Stipe over the top. Fine for what that is. No issue with it at all. But this to me isn't a song. But
again, I think it would have. I think writing a poppy song for the subject matter would have been the wrong choice.
No, definitely. They couldn't have done, Bang and Blame or What's the Frequency Kenneth for that. But they could have done something like the last one. They could have been that sort of a sound, which is sad and downbeat.
I just think when you're dealing with the death of someone, where you can maybe attribute the death to the popularity of how hooky their songs became and what their overall ethos was and how they felt about music, doing something this obliquely dissonant is the only thing you can do, to be honest.
And I think I agree with you that I suspect that's the point, is that it's deliberately a hard listen to kind of hammer it home.
And I love it as a piece. I love it. I love it in context.
Yeah.
You know, and
knowing
that's
the story.
Yeah, that's the thing. You need, you know, if you take it in isolation as a piece of music, in which, you know, which to be fair, we evaluate 99% of the music we evaluate in that there. So yeah, you know, we could be here being really snarky about that.
Sure, I can't hum this.
If we didn't give a shit about it, right?
Yeah.
But you know, I do care about the subject matter. I do care about it. So that's why I think that's a great piece of music, personally.
Right, and Mike Mills is playing a Fender guitar that belonged to Kurt Cobain on it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was given to him by Courtney Love, so he played that on this as you know, in making the whole thing more of a tribute, etc. Which is nice. It's lovely. It's a lovely thought, and it's a real shame we didn't get to hear what that collab would have been.
Yeah, I would have loved to have heard. I mean,
and you know, if either, you know, Kurt Cobain might have got Stipe to go a bit more rocky and a bit more punky, or Stipe might have got Kurt to go
stop boxing.
Yeah,
right.
Yes. Stipe might have got Cobain to go a bit more acoustic and mellow. Yeah. Either of those I'd have been totally fine with.
You know, I mean, as I say, I mean, you know, we're going to be talking about Unplugged soon.
Well, next episode is Unplugged. Yeah.
So you know, without giving too much away, we kind of saw what a more acoustic Nirvana started to look like.
Sure,
and it's fair to say I'd have been interested in some more of that.
Absolutely.
Anyway, right, let's do the next track. This one's called Circus Envy. Oh, yeah,
Fuzzy.
come on. Electrostatic buzz. Ooh, listen to that bass line.
I mean, this one sounds very much like the Stooges to me as well.
Yeah, menacing that guitarist, man.
Yeah. Dirty, fuzzy. And none of that, the tremolo thing that they have been playing with throughout this is just more filth.
Oh, I like that, man. Listen to that.
Yeah.
It's about being viewed, treated like a freak.
Yeah, so it's about, you know, the nature of fame and especially Michael Stipe's relationship with fame and how he's, you know, in the spotlight and he doesn't want to be, I guess.
But there's this really kind of powerful angry song. There's that like fragility in that fucking vocal there, man.
He's angry as shit on this one. Yeah, but there's a couple of lines I picked out. I'm getting tired of your dodgeball circus act, and I forgot to bark on command.
How do you feel about the pop sensibility going into this chorus?
Well, especially with the backing vocals and stuff?
Yeah.
I'm fine with it.
I found when I first started hearing this song, I was like, oh, I wish that was not the choice I wanted.
Yeah.
But then as I heard it more, and I was like, oh no, that's a really good choice.
Right. Okay. Right. But the light against the darkness, almost.
Listen to that riff, man.
No, it's really just.
But that's like Magnet
fucked
as well.
up. Oh, definitely, very much. Yeah, and I like the take he has on this about fame, because he famously, you know, pardon the pun, hated being in the spotlight.
Yeah.
And he didn't want to do the interviews. He didn't want to have to do all the bits where he's a cog in the music business machine. And so he's really venting about that on this, and it's great.
He doesn't sound a million miles away from Kurt in that verse.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
He really, you know, he's got that kind of hangdog kind of like on it.
Right.
That Kurt. I mean, that's God, I'm sorry for anyone that heard that as an expression, but you know, I mean,
I know what you mean.
And then it kind of changes into this kind of more lilting kind of. That's more the Stipe you're used to.
The bright chorus.
But I think this is another fantastic track. I'm amazed.
Oh, right.
I'm amazed that this is at the back end of the album.
I mean,
this is.
But I can see exactly why you would like this, because this sort of thing, because it sounds a bit like Magnet. It sounds a bit like the weirder end of that spectrum. It'd be more up your street.
Yeah.
I think this is a very good song. I don't think it's as good as the not Let Me In, I Took Your Name one, but this is definitely a side of REM that I'm enjoying.
Yeah.
I do like the other stuff, some of it that we've gone through, but I like that they're doing this as well.
Yeah, I don't mind. When I heard they're going to be doing an alt-rock album, you know, I didn't know how I felt about that. This is
what you wanted.
Yeah, this is the kind of the harder kind of. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of almost Melvins-y, some of this as well. I think this sounds fucking great, man.
Nice.
But again, you've still got the REM in there with that chorus coming through.
Sure.
I'm like, I am going into this third of this album. I did not expect to be like, I've been lukewarm on this, and I'm 3 for 3 on this bit so far.
I see. Oh, right. Okay,
so,
sure.
I'm like, oh wow, this is one of the only albums I've heard of with this level of thing that is just like, oh, you've saved all the best shit for the back end of it. It's a weird choice to me, but
I wonder. I mean, I imagine that REM won't be bullied into a lot of stuff by the record company because they are the biggest band in the world at this point.
Yeah.
But I wonder if the record company were like, oh well, yeah, let's put this, this more REM-y stuff at the front. That's great. You want to put all these ones on? That's fine. Let's just put them at 9, 10, 11, and 12. And I wonder if that was a discussion. And again, REM, if they'd not wanted to do it, they would have said no.
See, my issue with some of the earlier stuff, as I've said, is it's kind of neither fish nor fowl,
Okay.
It's like, it's not REM doing kind of classic REM, and it's not REM doing, I think, great alternative rock, whereas this stuff, they've lent into it a bit more, kind of showing a bit more of that kind of buzzy, fuzzy, kind of sub-poppy, and I'm like, yeah, I'm all about this. This stuff sounds fucking great to me.
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, very nice. Okay. Well, in that case, yeah, like you said, you're 3 for 4 in this section, and there's only one more song left on the album itself. So this is track 12, and it's just called You.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of a Soundgarden-y.
Yeah.
Bit of Velvet Underground as well.
Sure. Yeah, kind of a psychedelic swirly bit. And a nice pulsing guitar thing.
Fucking crunchy that guitar is as well.
And yeah, so Stipe's got this effect on his voice as well. It almost sounds like he's channeling the... whenever John Lennon did some of his more druggy songs, the Beatles ones, that sort of thing.
How about the planets, baby? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, this is
very cool.
It's got all of the trademarks of just a big, epic album closer.
Yeah. Yeah. I really like his voice on this.
Yeah, me too.
I think it suits so well. It sounds effortless. It sounds cool as fuck.
Yeah.
But it just fits in beautifully with that guitar tone.
Yeah, it sounds like, my eyes is just really, given full reign here to do whatever he wants on the guitar.
Sure, yeah. And is it coming out here where he does the almost falsetto bit, going up and up and up? Yeah, here we go.
Listen to that, man.
That's just beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, it's very much in that kind of big art rock kind of vein.
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, I'm not clear whether we're supposed to be taking these lyrics at face value. I feel like maybe not.
Stipe is not your man for face value lyrics at the best of times. He's that chorus I like is "You wipe my lips, you turn me on, my attention's returned to you." And it's soaring off, and I suspect it's more about just the feel of the thing rather than specifics. I
mean, this is a spectacular album closer, I think.
This is a space song. And yeah, as a closing song, it's a little bit out of the blue. I know we've had a couple of weirder songs just now, but to me this is still a different again, because we've not done this big psychedelic thing before.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't particularly sound like anything else on the album. But the fact that they've just gone for it is glorious. I mean, I think it's leading on a high.
Honestly, if we had what I want is a whole album of these last 4 songs.
Right, yeah.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
And I leave this album equally sad that we didn't get it, and happy
that it was there.
That we got this bit. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I really, really I kind of started to give up on this album a bit.
Yeah.
And by the time I got through this, when I was doing my listening, my writing playthrough, it suddenly went to me. I went, hang on a minute, have I just put my ear into the sound of this record just towards the end? Have I just fucked this up? Is the rest of this album good and I've just got the sound? So I had to go back again after I'd done it and listen to it and go, no, I still don't think these things are as good.
Okay, right.
I do think this album, more than nearly any other album we've done in the whole run, has yielded more with repeated listens.
For me, it went both ways, because sometimes it kind of made the ones that I was going to be liking, it got them better. There were some that it really reinforced, no, I don't like this one. Each time I heard it, was like, no, this is a little bit worse.
I really don't want to hear Frequency Kenneth again.
Right,
I've heard it a few times, and it just annoyed me by the end of it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting, isn't it? Because it's definitely not out of time, and it's definitely not automatic for the people.
Indeed.
But it still is an enormously intriguing record with lots to think about and go. It's, there are, even when they're not at their tip top, they're still an interesting band.
Very much, and even if they're running at half capacity, or if they want to try and be a bit different deliberately and put you off, there's enough just under the hood that they can chuck out some really good songs.
Yeah, 100%.
They've got it within them. But yeah, no, I think that's a fantastic closer, especially, but it's just a really good song.
Yeah, and this is all of it being recorded under the scrutiny of being in a position, the biggest band in the world, that they kind of didn't really ask for.
Yeah, yeah, they were thrust into the limelight.
And a pretty capricious time in the music industry as well, in the aftermath of the death of a close friend and all of this kind of stuff.
And Britpop just taken off, so people were like, well, fuck American bands. Mm-hmm. So yeah, to come out with this, it's a bit of a statement, but it's also just like, this is what we want to do. Cool.
Well, let's have a look at
social media.
Social medias.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to go to Twitter or fucking X, whatever you call it. Fucking
never fucking X.
Elon's cunt site, basically. Not that people are on it, cunts. You're lovely people. We're on it too. George Stevens, Pompey George, we are cunts, yeah. This is the REM album that you'll always find in charity second-hand shops. And that is very much fair, it is.
Stephen Grady on Facebook said, saw them perform this album at Milton Keynes Bowl, supported by Blur, if I remember correctly, and Belly. I like this album, not as good as Out of Time or Automatic, but enough good songs to make it an enjoyable listen. Crush with Eyeliner would be one of the best ones from this one.
Okay,
so thank you, Stephen.
Raw Power Roddy, Dave Roddy, was never a big REM fan at the time, but had copies of the two previous albums, but was well impressed with What's the Frequency, Kenneth. Bought the album off the back of that. Few further high points, but not one I go back to until now. Also, one of only 2 albums that my wife owned when we moved in with her.
Wow. Good Lord, okay.
When we moved in with her.
Well, who knows what's going on. I want to know what the other album was, though.
No, I do as well.
Was it Shampoo?
Yeah, right, so Fred.
DJ Mike Latrell, he says Crush with Eyeliner is one of his favourite songs by them as well.
Okay. Not one I got, really, but True Cult Pop, having loved the previous 2 albums, I was excited for this. The fact I was getting more and more into alternative rock and heavy music when the band were embracing that sound felt like a glorious serendipity. So I love this record deeply, even though I'm aware it's not their best. There's a few odd choices and missteps. Bang and Blame hasn't aged that well, and Tongue is bizarre, even though I like it. But when it's good, Strange Currencies, Crush, I Don't Sleep, it rivals REM at their finest, which is obviously an exceptionally high bar. I don't disagree with much of that. I'm not on a normal... Actually, yeah, I mean, Crush I don't like, but Strange Currencies and I Don't Sleep I've really enjoyed.
Fine. Neil Meadowcroft, I didn't buy this until a few years later. It's not another masterpiece, but there are plenty of great tunes on it, 8 of the 12 making the cut for my iPod. The overuse of the same guitar pedals makes it a bit similar sounding, but lots of records are like that. Not a fan of the Cobain tribute, just noisy guitars with no tune for me. As has been said elsewhere, the follow-up is much better and their last truly great album. So we're going to have to do that. I'm pretty sure that got to number 1.
Yeah.
And I have definitely seen a lot of people say that this was kind of a bit of a dip, but then they went back up for one more. So we'll see.
Well, in terms of serendipity, this is Luke Jackson. Great record, fantastic lead single that's up there with their best. Showed balls after what came before it, reminiscent of U2 and Acting Baby. A slightly harder edge suited them at that time, but I still think New Adventures is the best thing they did in the 90s.
Right, okay, well, like I said, I'm pretty sure we've got to do that at some point. Andy Barrett says he's got a memory of Krister sitting at a booth in Mirage, the nightclub, where I DJ'd, but standing up to do the air guitar to the jugga 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 bit in Kenneth, and it's absolutely true.
That sounds like something you would have done.
Exactly, it was me and my mate Greg, who I DJ with sometimes, and it was in Legends where we DJ'd, and yeah, we thought that was hilarious. And so, yeah, we did it pretty much every time we played that tune.
Well, brilliant. Well done, you. Paul Phelan, The Weight of Expectation probably didn't help this album. It's okay, but it's nowhere near close to Automatic or Time, and I think marks the beginning of the end of REM as an essential band. Okay.
I would agree with that, because they never reached the heights of those two again, and they started not to get even really discussed that much. They went from being the biggest band in the world to being a band that was on the cover of Q. Within from Monster onwards, really. That's the only audience they were really getting. And so they weren't an essential band, as far as I'm concerned, as well, after this.
Sure.
Yeah. Brendan Clark said, I always felt that Monster is an underrated REM album. It's a sign of a band rocking out despite hating each other with its obvious glam rock influences, which for me are more enjoyable than some of the earnest dirge of their previous 2 albums. I saw them on the Monster tour at Milton Keynes and can't remember much about it, but I do remember the support act. They were called Blur. Perhaps Dave should give them a listen.
Yeah, go for yourself. Anyway, Walker Tay, hello Walker.
Yes,
what's the frequency? Kenneth is pretty great, but otherwise I missed this one. Trivia: until recently, Peter Buck's ex-wife owned the Crocodile in Seattle, which is one of the grunge venues from the 90s. It's now owned by Sean Kinney, Susan Silver, and other music folks.
Well.
That's a good bit of trivia.
I like that, indeed. Ken Nettleship says, I was totally disappointed by this. Having loved Out of Time and Automatic, I had high hopes. I even bought a copy of it from our price in the Arndale Centre, and I think I gave it away not long after. I recently listened to it again as part of an REM immersion, wondering if I might find something in it. Nope, still bored. Oh, and being asked what the fucking frequency is got really, really boring. I'm not bitter, honest.
Yeah, feels like there's a little bit of
there's a lot of
a little bit of internalized issues there, Kenneth. There we go,
Kenneth.
Ken. Anyway, sorry, man. The Zeros, our friend Niall, who we're going to hear from on the next episode.
Yes, we are.
This album passed me by at the time. The single still hit the Proustian nerves, and I just listened through for the first time, and I can't believe I hadn't done so before. The back end sounds like they've been hanging out with Monster Magnet and eating peyote for brunch. Banging. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty my summation too. Yeah.
No, absolutely. Rob Middleton says, a bit disappointing after the brilliance that was Out of Time and Automatic for the People, not as consistent and lacking in the usual depth and emotion they were capable of. That said, Let Me In and Strange Currencies still stand out as some of their best work. And I think one of the issues on this is probably that the emotional side of REM was so evident on the previous 2, and it was so at the front.
Yeah.
And they were deliberately not doing those albums again. And so there is still emotional heft in some of the songs.
I think so.
And they're talking about things and interesting stuff, but it's not as obvious on this one, and it's hidden under the layers of guitar.
Very much so. Okay, Mr. Corcoran saw them on this tour at Slane with Oasis.
Oh, nice.
Consensus was Oasis blew them off the stage, but that was Billocks.
That's how they say it in Ireland.
Is it?
Load of billocks.
Yeah. Perfect set list. This recent remaster was weird but good. Let Me In is a heartbreaking tribute to Kurt Cobain.
All right.
Absolutely fair.
Yeah, indeed. If you know what the lyrics are and what the story is and what he's saying, it really is. A.D. Cocklock says, mixed feelings about this record. I think it's my least favourite from the glory years, brackets green to Monster, but it has its own little highlights. Tongue and Let Me In were highlights for me. Strange Currencies was pretty much Everybody Hurts too, but I much preferred the album after New Adventures in Hi-Fi.
Brian, it was pivotal for me because I became a big fan with Automatic for the People, so I was really looking forward to this. It coincided with me and my friends finally being allowed to go to gigs by ourselves. First ticket purchased, REM at Slane Castle on the tour for this album with Oasis in support. Good times.
Wicked. I mean, imagine that being your first gig.
And he followed it up by saying, now prompted to put it on with a picture of his vinyl.
Oh, very nice. Very jealous. Matt Bradley says he's started to realise I have an opinion on pretty much every album from 1994, a.k.a. my favourite year for music. It's a fucking big year. We've just established, initially, I thought this one was a bit of a letdown, mostly because the bar was set so high with Automatic for the People, and I think teenage me wanted Automatic Part 2. I didn't feel that Monster gave me that, but I softened in time, and while it took a few listens, I do now think this is a really good album too. Not a great album, as I think there's some forgettable stuff towards the end, but the high points absolutely go toe-to-toe with the best REM songs. Crush with Eyeliner and Tongue, I think, are excellent. Okay. So he prefers the more REM style stuff.
Yeah, I mean, my issue with some of that stuff is it doesn't sound that REM-y.
No, maybe, okay.
So, I mean, that's not my criticism of it. Yeah, I think we're out of step on that one. Obviously, we're looking at different things, but, such is life. Got a few here from, this is multiple tweets here from Giovanni Bien.
Oh, yes.
I will never love a band as much as I loved REM in the 90s. I started liking them with Green, loving them with Out of Time, and then became obsessed with Automatic for the People, which led me to going back to their early catalogue. So when Monster came out with its distortion and fuzzy guitars, I was taken aback. I just couldn't get into it. I understood rationally it was the album they had to make after Automatic, but I wanted the REM I knew and loved. in the intervening decades, I've reappraised it. It still wouldn't make my REM top 5, but Strange Currencies is a masterpiece. What's Frequency is so much fun. In fact, Michael Stipe has a sense of humour on this album, which doesn't happen a lot. And The Grief in Let Me In has lost none of its potency. It's still the most heartbreaking Kurt Cobain tribute. I forgot the most important bit. I went to see them on this tour, and I was there the night that Bill Berry had the brain aneurysm live on stage.
Jesus
he had to leave halfway through because of seeming headache and was replaced by the Grantley Buffalo drum. God, I haven't thought about Grantley Buffalo for years.
Yeah.
Who were the opening act? I know it was actually a terrible gig, not because of the band. They had to stop several times. We had no idea what was going on. We assumed it was a technical issue, but some people in the audience started booing, which was quite uncomfortable. Eventually, Michael Stipe said Bill couldn't carry on because he had a strong headache. I only found out the following day reading teletext.
There you go, dating us, yeah.
That it was more than the headache. Grantley Buffalo was a really good replacement.
Fair play.
So there we go.
Wow, imagine being at that gig. Because I remember reading about that, you know.
I remember that.
Probably not the next day on teletext, but definitely, you know, the following week in the NME about what had happened. And yeah, geez, imagine being in that crowd where that is going on.
I know, man.
You don't really know what's happening.
Like being on the stage when Tommy Cooper, or to a lesser extent, Dustin G died.
Yes, indeed. And then I've got no more Facebook, but we had a lovely email to our PCL. What is our email?
PCL Music Podcast
at gmail.com. From Owen Ryan, who said, he's said a lot of different things, but he said about REM, he said, I clearly remember my mate Kev lending me his newly bought copy of Monster on tape the week it came out, and us having a major discussion about the cassette sleeve and the Bearhead design. I'm a big REM fan. I recently saw a decent REM tribute band called Stipe in Whelan's in Dublin, I think that is. 20 quid well spent, he says. So I'm looking forward to the REM episode. You better have been nice about Monster, although it is in a weird fit in the REM canon, I must admit. Then he's gone, you said that irony was the shackles of youth. Okay, Michael, take it easy, fella.
Yeah. I think we should form an REM covers band.
Yes.
But deliberately mangle the songs, sing them really badly, and call ourselves the Shite Stipes.
Shite Stipes. Fucking hell.
And one more from X, I think. This is Luke Groobs _Thorn. I just listened to it for the first time. I'd heard Kenneth before. It's a good song, but the rest of the album is very poor. I thought Tongue was offensively bad. Strange Currency sounds like it's a desperate attempt at a song for a John Lewis Christmas cover.
Ooh.
Awful.
Ooh.
I think that's very harsh.
I mean, that's something you would never want to hear about a song you wrote, would it?
No.
Wow.
I'm not with you on that one, dude. But
that's hilarious, though.
All good.
Okay, well, thank you everyone for getting in touch. That was a lot of, again, I guess with a band like REM, a lot of people have their opinions.
For sure.
And an album which is as distinctive as Monster and has as much of a cachet about it, people are going to have definitely, one side or the other.
Yeah.
So great, thank you.
I very much glad, this is, again, when you have the idea of this podcast, this is the kind of thing you're hoping to catch up with. And
because I don't remember.
And not Cliff Richard.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't remember the bits, or rather the bits I don't remember from this album were very pleasing.
Yeah.
The bits I remember fine. But there was like, completely blanked this one.
Yeah, I'm glad we listened to it. Not a perfect album at all, but
sure,
when it's good, it's really good.
Right. Okay, so we're now at the point of choosing songs for the playlist.
Okay, so I would say these are songs I'm going to put a case forward for. And
please do.
Let's go. Strange Currency. I mean, despite the review we just read of that, I think Strange Currency is fucking fantastic.
I think it's great. I think it's
that's
really good.
That's probably the one I'd make the strongest argument for so far.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yes.
I Took Your Name is probably my favourite song on the album.
Right, okay.
So that I would make a strong argument for that.
Uh-huh.
I really like Circus Envy. I really like You.
Okay, well, I would be in agreement with pretty much all of that. I would, if we're going to do three, because we've got enough to pick from, we're going to put three on, I would have Strange Currencies.
Yep.
Even though it is yes, it's a single, whatever, but it's a really good song. I would have I Took Your Name.
Yep.
And I would have You. So the one I'm not agreeing with is Circus Envy.
Sure.
Even though I think it's very, very good.
I think those three that we've picked are different enough as well. That gives it a nice flavour. So I won't argue with that. Out
of interest, which one is your absolute favourite song on the album?
I Took Your Name, I think.
Right, because mine is You, the very last one. I think it's fucking fantastic.
See, I really like You. I think it's a great example.
I like You too.
Hey. And I like You too.
Oh, yeah. Jesus Christ.
Acting, baby.
Make it stop.
So yeah, I've got no argument with that. Let's stick those ones on.
Right,
As always, we'll put the link to the soundtrack on all of our
this ongoing playlist.
Check it out. It's a good playlist. It is, and it gets better as it goes.
And it's even better because we didn't have to put an Eric Clapton blues cover on there.
Yeah, that's really good. Yeah, I think that's
well
very,
done.
very good. But there is a Cliff Richard song on there, so just
it had to happen.
It's like when you get those jelly beans and one of them tastes like bogies.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God.
Right, thank you so much for joining us, guys. Let us know, as always, what you think of this episode. We're going to be back with an episode on
Nirvana's
Unplugged, man.
Yeah.
And then that is us for the year.
That is us. Then we're into end of 94 wrap-up. So start thinking about what your top 10 albums of the year 1994 are, because we're going to be trying to compile what everyone thinks.
Yeah, cool. And then we can release that and hardly anyone will download it like normal.
Absolutely, exactly.
Brilliant.
Yep.
Yeah, cool. All right, but it's the one we always enjoy doing the most.
Really
Self-indulgent cunts. Right, thank you ever so much, guys. Sorry for the slight delay on this one. It was caused by a lot of vomiting. So there you go. Anyway, guys, take care, and we'll see you soon. Take care.
Ya, bye. Thank you for checking out this episode of Pop Collaborate and Listen. It was produced and edited by us, for which we can only apologise. We're on Twitter at PCL Podcast, on Instagram also at PCL Podcast, and Facebook.com/PCL Podcast. All of these, plus links to our various Spotify playlists, etc., are on our website, which is PCLpodcast.com. Please feel free to get in contact via any of the social media or on PCLmusicpodcast@gmail.com.